If you've ever had an Excel project that you thought would take you 10 minutes, ended up taking you over an hour, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another edition of Live Trading. The chat is completely out of control. I will do nothing to control you. Get in there, get involved, see what makes our chat the best chat community out there. Got a couple of things moving here today. Got the SPY at highs. Stop me if you've heard that before. 13's in the back. We're going to have some fun. Let's get it rolling.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control. Got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks. Hello. Happy Thursday. Happy March 7th. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ryan Faluna, and we are back for another edition of Live Trading. As always, I got my main man, 13, with me. 13, how you doing here today?
I'm doing all right. Just kind of looking around for some things to trade. It seems like a little while ago, we were a bit thin with some of the opportunities, but the list has grown a bit, so we'll see.
List has grown and the market is not yet open. So interested to see any of those opportunities that you folks see out there. Definitely want to hear about it. I know Bitcoin has really kind of been in focus recently. I know we really don't trade Bitcoin names here unless they're stocks. But if you notice something is going on with Bitcoin, definitely mention it. We will absolutely take a look at that. Okay, let's go ahead and dive right in. First of all, it's great to see a whole bunch of people here. Jonathan, Market Sniper, Miles, Tuna, Gene, J. Michael, Haresh, Jonathan, Tim, Robert, Lynn, and Randy, Nick, Beach, Bernard. Oh my God, we've got everybody in here. Richard, Scotty. So, all right, we are going to find some things to trade here. Richard saying, I got 100K in play today. What should I buy with it? Richard, we are not licensed and not financial advisors. And this is a great time to remind you that this show is for educational purposes. If you need help with your finances, please consult a financial advisor. 13, I know that you've been recommending for years that even people that trade should also have a financial advisor. I completely second that. That's how I roll with things as well. So good stuff there. We are going to dive into some names. I see a number of people are already talking about CERO. Yes, we of course are going to get to that. Let's of course start with SPY here. Before we get started, of course, I'm going to remind you that this stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool, the best prop firm out there. Huge pool of stocks. You can easily get above that 25K threshold or get up to $250,000 in buying power. Whatever it is you need, they are there to help you. Great group of guys. Go check them out. Okay, now, as far as the SPY goes here, stop me if you've heard this before, 13, but it looks like we're trading up this morning after a down day yesterday.
Yeah, that was...
It wasn't even really a down day yesterday.
Well, kind of. We traded
it was up and down. It was up and down. Let's go with that.
We'll go with that. We traded up most of the day, and then about 1 o'clock, we started going back down to this the support level that we put in yesterday when it was a support turn resistance level of 508.50. That was support for yesterday, and it was support. It looks like in the pre-market as well. And now we're before the open has even occurred, we're already back up to trading up higher than what we were at during the regular session yesterday. If this momentum continues, I would expect that we top out somewhere around 513 to 514, maybe a little bit higher, because that's where we were putting in the all-time highs back on Monday. So that's all about all I got for you with the SPY. I'm just going to trying to see if it where we close. I still think we need to work through some of the consolidation that we put in previously, and that's kind of what we're at right now. So we'll just wait and see what happens. But yeah, I think that it'll be interesting once we get up to that all-time high to see if we break through that or if we retreat.
Yeah, I would second everything that you just said there. I mean, we still have this pattern in force, right? We trade up a little bit, we regress a little bit, but we actually set a higher low, then we trade up again to new highs. So we're in that. So we actually pulled back a little bit. Now the next phase is going to be that impulse move. Do we actually set some new highs here, or does the story change here? That's really what we're kind of going to be looking at here with the SPY. Okay, good stuff, 13. Appreciate the levels there too. Just as kind of an administrative note, I don't have any position for the market direction on right now. I'm going to have individual names, but I have no inverse ETF or long ETF or anything like that. So I'm relatively market neutral in terms of my positions. Obviously, I'll let you know if that changes.
One thing that I can put out here is that we are moving up quite a bit on that jobless claims. I'd be paying attention to what the jobs report tomorrow says, and the current consensus is 3.7%. Same as it was last time. But Powell yesterday was really trying to direct attention towards these economic reports, jobs in particular. He's looking for a rise in unemployment. Their year-end projection is, I have it written down here, their year-end projection for 2024 is 4.1%, and on the low end, 3.9, on the high end, 4.5. So we're not even anywhere near there. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to go real fast because I've noticed that LYT is absolutely ripping right now.
Yeah, well, we're gonna go over that just to kind of put a button on this. We did get the jobless claims here today, 217,000 versus the 217,000 estimate, so right in line there. The prior was also 217, so literally in line across the board there. Okay, let's flip over to the movers tool and let's take a look at some of these stocks that are moving here today. Now, we're going to get to LYT here in a sec. First one we want to cover here is going to be CERO. This is ticker CERO. This is CERO Therapeutics. Now you can see there was a huge move here. I actually don't have a float reading here. Remember, our float is delivered from
4.8.
You have 4.8. Okay, so our float is derived from Morningstar. Morningstar does not have a float value. 4.8 is the one looked up. Thank you very much, 13. Stock had a $38 million market cap prior to this morning. Now, we did have some news here. CERO Therapeutics shares announces publication of preclinical research supporting the use of clinical candidate CER1236 to treat AML patients. That is responsible currently for the 400% gain that the stock currently has. Now, if you investigate this, you can actually see that this stock, which was what, $3 and change yesterday, popped as high as almost 28 and has retraced more than half of that stick here. Want to be very, very careful on this. I know Jonathan mentioned some volume numbers earlier. This stock on average trades about 31,000 shares already here in the pre-market. It's traded 2 million shares. So just kind of keep that in mind. Not a highly traded issue. So the fact that it's getting a lot of momentum here, likely to push it around. We actually did consolidate around the VWAP for a good portion of the pre-market this morning, but we've kind of broken away for that. So we're at the stage now where we want to see if this can confirm a bottom. And then maybe this will be a trade here, but a huge move here. Some eye-popping numbers. I would advise that you be careful with that to just not get trapped in this one.
Yeah, I don't have any whole lot to add to this one because it's still a pretty new company. Like you can see that this hasn't been on the market for too long, and therefore I don't have very many levels with this. Yeah. I've actually only marked off 3, and that's mostly just been from the price action this morning. So yeah, I don't have a whole lot to draw on. This could do whatever it wants. It could go to 100. I wouldn't be surprised because I have no idea where this wants to go. And it looks like the market is just adamant about pushing stuff like this around right now.
Yeah. Jonathan's saying there was like 500,000 shares, like 500,000 shares in 15 minutes. And that's likely what drove this here. Okay, we'll take a look at CERO. No position. Definitely not trying to rush and buy that out of the gate. We will watch how that trades here today. Next is going to be LYT, and this is the one that you had mentioned.
Yep.
This actually popped after hours yesterday. Catalyst here. Lytus technology shares are trading higher after the company announced the launch of Lytus Cloud. This drove us up in the after-hours session yesterday. We actually took another leg up with the opening of the pre-market session today. Interestingly, we retraced that entire pre-market move, right? We got this like nice little sawtooth pattern right here. Big pop, retraced the entire move. And then once the volume started pouring in here, we moved back up to that 10 level. Looks like we traded as high as 11 here on LYTS. Share structure here, low float stock, right? I've got a float of 1.06 million here. On average, stock trades 265,000 shares of volume. Today, we've traded just over 7 million here in the pre-market. So this one likely to be in play here today. You can see Lytus stock rallies over 200% after launch of its cloud infrastructure services. So here we go. I think cloud-based names are going to be pretty big with the AI hype and momentum, whatever you want to call it, bubble, if that's what you want to call it. All of that is going to make some of these cloud data service stocks a little bit more appealing. I think that's probably playing into the amplitude of the move here this morning.
Yeah, lit. I think I'm just going to call it lit because that's how I started pronouncing it. But as Jay pointed out, this actually had a 1-for-60 reverse split. It was announced on the 21st, and it went through on the 23rd of February last month. So recent reverse split. This company, I think this is an Indian streaming platform. It's a company in India. So that's the appeal there. And then one of the things I noticed when it was bottoming earlier this morning is that it came down to the demand zone that was put in last night, it looks like, or earlier today. No, last night.
Yeah,
so,
this is right in here, right?
Yeah,
right
so
in here. Yeah.
So that was a pretty good pickup from the demand zone there. Now we're making our way through some of these other supply zones we put in this morning, and we're about to break out into new highs here. Not all-time highs because that was put in when this IPO'd, but after that, we're gonna after this 1160 level, we're pretty much going to be in some open territory up until about 17, where there was very little price action, just a big drop from when it IPO'd. So this could get really, really crazy if the price gets pushed up to those IPO era levels.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And the high number here that I have exactly is 1158. So 1160, definitely that area there. The actual high of the pre-market that I have, 1158. We take a look at the daily chart here. This is what 13 is talking about. Let's see if we can actually really kind of rip here. One thing I will notice here is that when we do have some of these huge rips, here's another one from January of 2023, stock went from 45 up to 140, 130, 137. So stock's no stranger to some huge rips. But as you can see here in the past, they often sell off right after. So this is going to be one of those, you want to make sure you take your gains. That's
a bit of a different chart than what's in my broker. And I don't know if there's a difference with the adjustment for the reverse split or not, but yeah, I didn't have a whole lot of levels.
Yeah, no, it looks like that reverse split is throwing that off here. And actually, let me report that. And mention that real quick. Thank you very much, 13. Good looking out. All right, next here is going to be Brera. And let me go into an intraday chart here. So this is it's funny. I know we talked earlier this week about some of the old girlfriends being back. Brera, definitely one of those, right? Every time I see this ticker, I think of the show La Brea and the giant sinkhole that takes you into another dimension or something like that. I never watched the show. I just think of the commercials here. Regardless, stock's up here. It was up in the after hours yesterday. Again, took another leg up here this morning. Brera, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Brera. Mm-hmm. Not sure.
Like era with a BR in front of it.
Yeah, probably. So Brera, we'll go with that. Brera holding shares are trading higher after the company announced that its executive chairman, Daniel McGlory, acquired a majority stake in the company. So if we go to the news tab here, you can see it adds luxury lifestyle executive Massimo Ferragamo to its all-star advisory board. And then we have Daniel McGlory acquiring a majority stake in the company. So some good news here by insiders and board members driving the stock up here today. To me, again, I'm not sure that this is necessarily investment news, but this should put the stock in play here today. We did pop as high as 323. We've really kind of come back. We're right beneath that VWAP here, but we're really kind of flirting with it. We've already traded above it on volume. Would like to see what happens when this stock actually opens. Brera should be in play here today.
Yeah, the only thing other than that I have is that it's a 3.46 million share float, so easy to move around. And we've also seen these majority stake notices or filings. We've seen companies like that move really well as of late. So this one should get going. Waiting to see. Just want to see what happens after the market open, though.
Definitely want to see that opening print there. I apologize for my stuffy nose. I'll go ahead and fix that here in a sec. Next on the list here is going to be IPA. Crow, are you an IPA fan? the beer or the stock. I wonder if we're going to get some beer jokes here today. Anyway, the stock here is immunoprecise antibodies. This does have a catalyst this morning that popped this as high as 340. We've really regressed off that, selling off $1.40 from that. We actually tried to find some support here around 215. And it looks like we're actually taking another leg lower here, so pretty extended from the VWAP. Couple of things to note here. The company does report earnings in 7 days, so that's going to be March 14th before the market opens in the morning. It does have a catalyst here this morning as well. Immunoprecise antibody shares are trading higher after the company announced that its subsidiary BioStrand developed a foundation AI model that uses large language models stacking with HYFT technology. So we got it. I know they're talking about large language models. That is actually a subset of AI, much like thermodynamics is a subset of physics. So we got the AI PR here that drove it. Now it has really kind of sold off. So we'll see if this bottoms or gives us a trading opportunity. But IPA going here. You got anything on IPA? Will I clear out my nostrils?
It's just under 23 million share float, so not necessarily the really low float under 10 million ones that we're looking for, but it might still provide trades. I'm not really interested in this one today. As far as there's no reverse splits or anything, this whole headline seems very buzzwordy. So if it provides a trade, then great, but it's not really interesting to me. So I think I'll trade other things today than this. We are not hearing you.
Yep, I had mute on like an idiot. I agree with you completely right there. We'll see if this actually puts out a bottoming formation. That would be how I trade it. Otherwise, we'll take a look at some other opportunities here today. Just kind of rounding out the list here of movers, there are a couple of more. HNST, this is Honest Company. The Honest Company shares are trading higher if the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. The stock popped from 3 to 4. It's doing a really good job holding this level. So we'll see if we get some, let's call them easier to manage trades here. Maybe a move through VWAP, maybe a build around VWAP and a push away on expanding volume, something like that we can easily see if it's working or not. So HNST, again, I'm going to wait for the opening print, but definitely want to see how this one goes. Did you have anything else on HNST?
No, I was just laughing at LPSN moving up again. This company is called Live Person. Remember, this is something we talked about and laughed about in happy hour. I don't know anything about this one. It's kind of moving up as of recent, so not sure what's going on here with that one. But mindmed was the next one that I was finding interesting.
Okay, let's do that. This is ticker MNMD. This is one we've talked about quite a bit here, 13. Looking at the daily chart, sure looks like we're coming off the bottom. Volume's expanding. What do you see here?
Well, the news is that they received FDA breakthrough therapy designation. That's a pretty good box to check when you're a drug developer. They also announced that they had $175 million offering at $6 a share. I don't know when it's occurring, but I think that's happening pretty soon. It's got a 40.9 million share float. Not that it's too big of a deal, but it does have 8.64 short interest with 5.17 days to cover. So it's kind of there with the short interest and potentially setting up a short squeeze. It shouldn't really matter too much because those aren't really big short interest numbers. But I think the important thing here is that they have those other two headlines going with their breakthrough therapy designation, and they're offering at $6 a share.
Okay. There you go. Good stuff there on mindmed. We'll see if we actually get an opportunity to trade this one here today. Sure looks like it's in a good spot here in the pre-market, really kind of holding around that VWAP. Nice little range up to 850 there. Becca saying, Ryan, only 10 more days until you're over that idiot hill. I suppose that's true, Bex. I suppose that's true. Jay saying, Ryan, surprised Yext is not on your list here. So let's take a look here at Yext and actually explain why it's not on my list, or I should be able to. Yext shares are, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then let's see if we can get to Rivian before we open.
Oh, we will definitely.
We will definitely get to Rivian.
Rivian and NYCB are probably next after this. Okay, Yext shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q4 financial results. Jay, this stock is up on 99,000 shares of volume here. My filter requires at least 600,000 shares. That's why you don't see it on the list here. However, you have mentioned it, so let's go ahead and cover it because you're right. Huge pop here. The stock was just under $6 yesterday. We're actually trading above 720 here. We're doing a good job staying above the VWAP. Actually looks like it wants to take out the top of the impulse move that I have here at 754. Looking at this, looks like the earnings yesterday after hours look decent. Let's see. Okay, so it looks like they're right under the estimate on for guidance here. It looks like they're right under the estimate on revenue and above on EPS. Looks like they beat yesterday, top and bottom line, and moving higher here. So let's see if there's anything else.
The guide doesn't seem like it.
No, that's why I'm looking for something else in here. I'm with you on that.
It must. Well, no, that's not it either.
I was going to say these directors are being granted shares. Jay,
Yeah.
you got any? No. You said your filter. Just asking. No. This is good. This is what we want to do. We want to uncover more things. The fact that it didn't meet my filter criteria
Coverage, maybe.
doesn't take it off. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What else is going on here?
Well,
B. Riley. I mean,
yeah. $8. I mean, it's not there yet, but it did trade up close to that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure about this one.
Yeah, a nice little move here, and it's doing a good job holding its area here in the pre-market. I guess I'm not sure why the reaction is this positive to the earnings report if the guide was not that great. Jay saying it's a pig, could be short covering. There you go. It does not have a whole lot of short interest. But I mean, if it's kind of a junky stock and it's moving back up, maybe that is the case. 1.6 days to cover, doesn't really trade a whole lot. So
yeah, 107 million share float. This I don't know that this is going to really move a whole lot. And if it does, I can't imagine it's going to be, that much. I'm not sure about this one. We'll have to just wait and see if there's anything that comes out of this after the market opens. But for now, I'm got a big question mark over my head with this one.
7 to 750 seems to be the decent range. We'll see what it does with the VWAP here. Carmen, the ticker that we're looking at here is YEXT, Yankee Echo X-Ray Tango. Okay, cool. Got it. All right.
Rivian?
Yeah, let's do
Real
Rivian. Thank you.
No problem. And this one's up on coverage and a new car unveiling that's expected to be today.
Okay, so the coverage here, Jeffries initiating new coverage, as 13 just mentioned, on Rivian Automotive. Buy rating, price target of 16. That is driving this up here. Let's see, I know we just have the headline there. I'd actually like to look into that and see what they said there on Rivian. We take a look at the chart here. It actually has a pretty good move. Oh, I was going to say, don't die on me now. I just literally set you up. Had a nice little move here in the pre-market. It actually looks like maybe this was getting leaked yesterday or something. I don't know. Had a nice little trade up near the end of the after-hours session yesterday. Another leg up here today. Rivian, I still don't like this, even with the coverage. That's not enough to change my mind. Maybe we get a trade on it here today. What do you see here, 13?
Yeah, I mean, EVs are still out of favor with me and a good portion of the market. I was just mentioning how it was moving up on two different pieces of news there, so that's helping it. But I really don't think this is going to be too much interest to me. It does have a pretty good short interest. It's just the days to cover is a little bit lower than I'd like to see. So trade it if you want. I think there might be better opportunities with more movement out there, but to each his own. This is just something that we thought we'd mention since it was getting asked about.
Yeah, absolutely. 1 minute till we begin. Good morning, Jeff Dees.
Hey, Jeff.
Clean charts. Good to see you this morning, my man. Let's take a look here at NYCB real quick. This obviously had a very wild day yesterday after we got off the air. I know that they actually currently have Mnuchin on CNBC. Said this is an opportunity to turn NYCB into a strong regional bank. So the news that's going on here, obviously NYCB unsure that they can continue. We had news about that yesterday. Then we also had news. Let me see if I can find it in here. Let me make sure I get this correct. So first, we We had a print here earlier in the day from Wall Street Journal, said New York New York Community Bank has contacted investment firms on potential equity sales, seeks outside capital to shore up the balance sheet. And then later on that day, we actually had that New York Community Bank Corp announces over a $1 billion equity investment anchored by former U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin's Liberty Strategic Capital. He's the one that's on TV right now talking about it, and we are open. So we'll take a look here at NYCB. Keep me posted if you guys are taking a look at that. Let me flip over to the scanner. And
Chat was mentioning CELZ quite a bit, and it had a pop. Just as we were wrapping up with Rivian and the others, we're now going down out of the gate right now. Look for support around $7. If we get that, then it could go the other way. But I'm going to take this off my screen right now and look at something else. No problem.
By the way, just a couple of more names that we talked about. New York or NYCB, I'll just call the ticker name. It's so much easier. This moving up here out of the gate. We also took a look at, let's take a look here real quick at Yext. Looks like that first move was this is interesting here. That first move was right up to that after hours high, pulled back here to the VWAP 717. I guess we're a little bit beneath the VWAP. Big pullback coming here in Yext. That's that 7 level, right? So this is the bottom end of the range that we just talked about. Looks like we broke through there. We'll wait for Yext to firm up. Brera popping here on the scanner. That's ticker BREA. Looks like this did try to bounce here, but is resuming its move lower. Had a big volume candle right off the open there, but Brera looks like this is moving lower here.
Yeah, this one looks like it's probably headed under 2. Unless we can get some support. Sorry.
HNST being mentioned by the chat. Let's take a look at that real quick. The Honest Company. This nice little spike out of the gate, pulling back here. Looks like that did pull back to VWAP. Let me actually load this up and trade the pool. We'll get the broker ready for some executions here. Looks like that did come back to VWAP here. Okay, cool. I've got VWAP at 433. We're currently at 435. So let's see if this bounces here on Brera.
All right, looking to see if CERO can get some support here from the 65 EMA on the 5-minute, which is about $8.07 or 6 cents.
Yext really coming in now, 670s.
All right, here we go with Lit.
Mindmed spiked right out of the gate. That's going up to the pre-market high. Let's take a look at Lit as well. That is up to that pre-market. Here we go on 11 on Lit.
1161 is the high I have in the pre-market. I think you said 1158 from yours.
1158 was the exact number, but that's the 1160 area. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
Here we go. Lit's going to halt here 1102. If it holds, Lit going to be halted, folks. Crow saying Lit might go bigly.
Yeah, it could. Like I was saying, this one, from 1161 to 17, that's the next 2 levels I have. So that's a huge move. Yeah. And my chart wasn't, looking like how it was on yours. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. But if this is, if my chart's a little bit more accurate, then yeah, those first days of trading when this IPO'd is really all I have to go on. And that's where these crazy levels come in. After 17, I have 25.
Okay. Well, let's see if this does go bigly. Let us know. Did you get entry on this?
I just scalped it real quick.
Okay. So you're out of it into this halt.
Yes.
Let us know. Let us know what happens when this actually opens.
CELZ is also halted to the upside.
CELZ halted to the upside. Yes, it is.
This is yesterday's girlfriend. Sorry.
Hey, you did it, not me, but you're right. This is popped right here out of the open. Jay mentioning SSYS had earnings. You know what, Jay? I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I'm really thrilled to see this reaction here. This trade has not been a good one for me, just straight up. I mean, I've done okay managing the position, but I was really hoping for a 20 print, and I'm just not sure that we get there. I'm thrilled that it's not breaking down here today. I know we're up. We're up just about 7.5% here today. The 3D printing space, I guess I'm not a huge follower of it. I do like the tech here as well. Really wanted this for the buyout. At this point, I think if I can just kind of cover up what I'm down on, I got my average here is low 13. So if I can really kind of just get this thing positive, I'll probably just move on. But would love to hear if you have any updated thought on SSYS. Trade just hasn't worked all that great for me.
I just posted a chart for you on SYSS. I think that if we get this, if this move continues and pushes through up to the 50-day or 200-day SMAs, we'll be breaking a big downtrend that we started back in 2021.
Music to my ears if we can do that. Like I said, I think the good news here is that it's really kind of holding this level. I want to see some positive price action here, but appreciate this chart. Let's break that downtrend. Let's do it bigly with some volume. That would be awesome. By the way, shout out to the happy hour chat there. Best chat room in pro, largely because of what the community does in order to procure it. By the way, let's take a look here at Yext. This really kind of coming back in. Look at this. Look at this. Because 13, another monster call. Sometimes the best call is the trade that you don't make. You said you weren't really sure about Yext here. This big pullback.
Oh, wow, that is
getting
kind of ugly.
Hello, Jeremy. MindMed moving again. Great call here. So we had that initial impulse move. Looks like we slowed down a little bit. Now MNMD popping to the highs. 872 your high print there on MindMed. All right, we got some more stuff moving here. I'm actually gonna flip over to the Trade the Pool broker. Boom. All right, let's take a look here. I'm gonna bring up MindMed for right now. I'll keep flipping around to some other stocks here.
It seems as this might be going up to the 11 handle. And once we get to about 1130, somewhere around in there, we could see some pullback or resistance. And if we can break through that, it's going to take we're going to need to move up through some consolidation up into the higher 12s for MindMed.
Okay. So let's see if we can do that. We did take out the pre-market highs so far, so things are looking good. Definitely want to see that volume pick up.
The next level I have in MindMed is 950.
Okay, perfect. So we're about $1 away from that. We are still keeping our eye on LIT and CELZ, which are, of course, halted. Let's run through some other tickers here real quick.
This is crazy. There's a lot. Okay, so sorry to interrupt you, but there's HNST, LYT, APM, and CELZ. They're all halted. And these are, we were trading these yesterday, APM and CELZ. But APM halted to the downside, so...
Well, what's the theme that we've been discussing recently in Happy Hour? The market just doesn't feel normal. Things don't.
This is not a normal market.
This is not a normal market. So, some days we're seeing some of these junky names lead the way up. It's not a surprise to see them lead the way down the next day. Oh my God, it's Raz's birthday. Oh my God, Bex, good looking out. I'm embarrassed. I hope he's not watching because I didn't even realize that was the case.
Happy birthday, Jason.
Just saved me. Yeah, happy birthday, Jason. I totally remembered. That was all for show. But happy birthday. That's a good save. Okay. I'll handle that here. I'll handle that here in a little bit.
Watch Ryan tomorrow. If you ever forgot your boss's birthday.
And then
but he still gave you a job.
And then admitted it live on air. Oh my God. Okay.
Happy birthday, mystery man.
Oh, today is my birthday also. Mystery man. All right. Happy birthday. Sharing a birthday with Jason. Chat's not going to let me forget it. They're going to call me out. Love it. HOVR. This popping here. Good call, Bex. I don't think this one's halted yet. No, it's not. But this one is moving here. APM resumed. I guess let's take a look at that here real quick. And I do want to take a look at some of these other stocks. So APM resumed. A little bit of a move down. Looks like buyers are trying to step in. We'll see if that holds up here.
It's at a support level 650. Well, it's kind of beneath it right now, but 650 was a support level that I had from previous price action. And if we start breaking down from there, we're going lower to probably underneath 550. But it's looking like it's trying to reverse here. So might do that. And if it does, I'd see if it can take it back up to the next level I have, which is $9.
Nexi here getting called. I didn't know, Bex, you were watching this here. Looks like Crow called this here. Nexi moving towards the highs. Here's NYCB. Let's take a look at that one real fast. NYCB, that move is up, and so far it's holding. That's good to see. There are also some news here with some of these weight loss drugs. Okay, so we've got VKTX here. You can see that this app is getting crushed. Let me actually bring this up here real quick. VKTX down 16% here. Looks like maybe it's trying to find a bottom, but this stock's down here. Remember, they did an offering on March 4th. Okay, they announces the closing of a public offering. And then yesterday, we actually had an initial offering Form S filed with the SEC. This morning, we had Jefferies initiating coverage, slapping a buy rating and a 110 price target on Viking. So VKTX down 16% here. New initial offering form filed, and also coverage from Jefferies with a 110 price target. So I expect VKTX here to kind of be volatile over the next several sessions. Obviously, this is related to the semaglutide weight loss drugs. If you take a look at NVO, you can see that NVO is actually trading up here today. So some of these stocks moving around here quite a bit. NVO up 8.2%. Novo Nordisk shares are trading higher after the company announced that a phase 1 trial of its experimental drug showed that participants lost 13.1% of their weight after 12 weeks. 12 weeks? HNST is open, by the way.
And CERO looks like it's getting some good support from that 65 EMA that I had at just above 8, trying to make its way back through VWAP. It might run into some trouble just above 10. So not sure how much of a trade is there, but just keep it on your radar if this is something you're trading today. I think this might turn around.
I do see a little bit of size here at 880 on CERO. I just, and I do see that the buying volume here is building, which I like. It's pretty thin and spread, which would make it kind of tough. Good luck if you're trading this one. Jane cheering it on. CERO, come on. Come on, give it to. It looks like this might actually break this.
It's certainly making its way up, but it's still having trouble with that VWAP that I have here. VWAP for me is at 867, and we're kind of knocking its head on that a bit. So trying to make its way through. Needs more volume in order to do it, I think.
All right, I'm going to try some here. Oh, that was rough. 200 shares right there at 863. This is a risky trade here, but we're doing it in the prop firm. So thank you, Trade the Pool. Let's see if we can keep curling here. If this really kind of comes back, I'll just kind of cut it. Hope that I don't have to do that. I've sold a little early on some of these plays, so I'm really hoping this can actually get rolling here. We'll see. This is high risk. High risk. I wouldn't follow this at all. You guys talking about lift unhalting momentarily, or lit? Excuse me, I just said lift. I didn't want to do that. LYT.
Sorry to interrupt you. Soundhound might get going here. It's a little slow moving at the moment, but it's pushing trying to push above the pre-market highs.
Here is LYT popping out of that halt. Went higher here, but coming back down now to the halt level. Boy, this thing's all over the place.
Yeah, if it can hold this level, it's probably going to end up going higher.
Here we go. This is it's trying to come back in. I want to see what happens when it actually fights with this spot right here. CERO looks like it's just lost 8. Oh, yikes. I got a loser on my hands. I got to manage here. Let's see if it comes back. I'm going to give it a little bit. What was the other one Brera was the other one that was moving here, I think. Let's take a look at that. BREA. That just popped to the VWAP and came back. Sorry, 13. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I think I was trying to interrupt you. I think the 200 EMA is a better spot for a bounce on Brera, and that's down at about 180.
Okay, so, I was going to say 180 you've got that at?
Yeah, I think 180 would probably be, and you could trade how you will, but I think 180 is probably where we're going to start to see this reverse if we start breaking down here.
Okay, and that aligns with this bottom right in here. So that first bottom from the pre-market. What are you looking at?
Lit. It's still going.
And I think it's here.
I think it's still going. I think it's going to go to 17.
Well, I took a risk on the wrong one. That's how it goes sometimes, folks. Bummer. We're going to have to claw that back this week, I think. Stopped out of that for risk rules. We're going to have to claw that one back. Bummer on that. Sorry, folks. CELZ down halt. So that did pop. That came out of the halt and now halted to the downside. MNMD, another one that you guys are taking a look at. Jonathan, this actually looking like it's trying to break out of that consolidation area. MNMD. Lit stopped at, or LYT lit stopped at 13.5 there.
Now it's just kind of fighting with among the bulls and bears, and now we're pushing up higher.
Volume is wild on this.
It's pretty good. It's the kind of volume you need to get through those levels.
Yeah, indeed. Man, my tree can't even keep up on centering it. This thing's moving around so much here.
Pushing 14 now. Just got up to 1398. We're pulling back a little bit. And I 17 is the next level I have. I think we could get there. I mean, we might trade back and forth a little bit, but I think that 17 is entirely possible.
Oh my God, look what's going on here, 13.
Oh, how about that?
How about that? IDAI finally getting some volume here. Let's see if this can actually move. This thing has been crushed so badly. I am long in that. I am long just a little bit in this. I'd like this to get closer to 2, though, to book that one.
That'd be
CERO
great.
halted to the downside. Oh, my God. Sometimes your first stop is your best stop. That was a rough trade. That was bad. I grade myself an F on my first trade of the day here. But now we've got a goal to claw back from here.
Lit coming back down after hitting 14. That's fine. As long as it can, hold between 1110 to 1160 and hold that area. Still think 17's on the docket, and maybe 17 will be later on today, but this one looks like it has some strength, so I'm still thinking that's where it's headed.
Hover back to its VWAP here, trying to bounce off that VWAP. Lit is trying to do the same thing here. Looks like that pulled back towards the VWAP, did not quite get there. Got it at 1082 in Trade the Pool, 1052 in Thinkorswim.
Nexi still looking pretty good. Volume is kind of going away a bit, but it went up to 902, and it's still looking like it could head up higher. I have a 1015 is the next level.
Okay. Yeah, this Nexi looking good here. Bex, this was a good identification early.
Yeah. Sure was.
I got to sneeze. Man, the weather's changing here. I think it's wreaking havoc with my allergies. I feel great otherwise. It's just allergies, I think.
It is absolutely changing. I looked at my vehicle's thermometer outside temperature yesterday, and I was like, wow, it's 90 already. We just had like a deep freeze, last month. So
it's hilarious how one of our teammates here is actually in Texas, and on one of our meetings, he was sitting outside in his meeting, and it was like sunny and beautiful, and everyone on the team was like, "Where are you?" He's like, "Oh, I'm in Texas. I'm in Austin. It's 96." Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wild stuff. Anyway.
Smoked tuna with a mention on OCEA. We have this one moving as well. Next level I have is 555. It is currently at 482. Oh, Nexi was Crow's pick. Sorry, I wasn't trying to pass that. Good job, Crow. We're going to give you a register ring and a 1-up. By the way, Jeremy here mentioning MNMD selling off. This actually coming back into the VWAP and holding there on the MNMD. So far, so good here on MNMD. Lift, this needs a little bit more before it comes in. By the way, Yext, which we talked about, retraced that entire move from the pre-market. Maybe this is bottomed and it's going to trade back up. I don't know. You tell me. Brera, another one off the scanner here. This moving lower. IPA off the scanner. This one back to its VWAP. Let's actually see if this can pop and move through on IPA. Do you like IPAs? No.
No, you're not an IPA fan?
Not an IPA.
How about you,
fan.
Crow? You an IPA fan, Crow? I know you really like your beers.
I like Kolsch style.
You like what style?
Kolsch style. It's cold brewed.
Okay. I was gonna say don't even think I'm familiar with that.
Whenever you make your way out to Texas, I'll take you to. They have a lot of breweries out here. St. Arnold's is the beer I like drinking the most out here.
Okay, and you said the weather's nice there, and we can shoot guns, right?
Oh, we can do whatever we want out here.
Oh, pulling up Expedia right now. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Lynn, amber ales are great. I love those. Are near and dear to me, especially during the fall.
Smoke Tuna says IPA tastes like cigar. Oh, that's good. IPA, the stock, rejecting right here at the VWAP. Let's flip through some more. 0 for 1 here today, looking for another setup. Want to claw that back.
Lit is still trying to hold that level that I was mentioning, and if we do get some buying strength back, we're probably going to hit that 17 level. It's holding at 1161. That was the high from the pre-market, so that's good so far. Yeah, mindmed really starting
Crow says, believe it or not, Ryan, cinnamon tea is very effective for allergies. I completely believe this. I totally believe this. In fact, one of the things that I'm drinking right now is, I don't even know if I'm going to pronounce it correctly. It's called Mullien tea, Mullien, and it's an expectorant, and it actually clears the lungs out. Works really well. Tastes pretty good too. I've had cinnamon tea. I actually might have some in my cupboard. Maybe I'll do that next year. Good call, Crow.
OCEA had a big move into a halt, and we're just outside that 555 level. So when we unhalt, we probably might blast through that and then come back in. We'll see.
OCEA. Go, big blast from the past here. Look at Go trading up here today, 909 on Go.
Brera is trying to recover right now. I don't think it's got the volume it needs at the moment to get back up to its pre-market levels, but just thought I'd mention that it's trying to move back up. Nexi, yeah, I still think this will hit 1015, but the volume's starting to go away, so I'm not sure.
Brera slowing down on this bounce, volume drying up as well. Nexi, maybe this is slowing down.
All right, now Lit is down to its VWAP, and it's getting a bounce off of there. This might be the bounce level for Lit. We'll have to see. Looks like Zim's having a pretty good day.
Zim coming back a little bit above that 11.
Yep. Hopefully Zoltan did something with his covered calls. I thought that was
well. Those
really
don't expire, I think, until next week, right? What did he say? March 15th, I believe.
I don't know what his plan is, but it seemed like he had a really good capture of equity, or just as a premium.
So he sold the $12 calls against his stock. So if the stock closes below 12 by March 15th, or on March 15th, if it closes below 12, he collects the premium and walks away.
Yeah.
If not, his shares get called, and that is a profit too. So I mean, I think he did the right thing here. Seems like it. I mean, I guess if this rips and goes to 15, that's going to suck because he's going to lose his shares at 12 and the stock's going to be at 15. But we'll see if that's what actually happens here.
Yeah, my thought when he was talking about that is that he was just trading the premium. But if he's holding into the expiration, which is 2 days after they report earnings, then
well, I mean, if he sold 12 calls and the stock's under 12, yeah, I mean, those are going to expire worthless.
Right. So he'll get that premium. I just thought he was just doing a day trade for the premium.
Yeah. Gotcha. Zoltan is here. Zoltan, I think you did really well with that.
I think he did too. I mean, obviously he's positive.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Lit actually rolling back to that VWAP. We're actually breaking beneath it here now on Lit.
Yeah, that one's so the next level I have to the downside is 10. We'll see if it can get picked up there, but yeah, it's breaking down now. So that first trade that I had was the only good one so far in Lit.
Hey, at least you're 1 for 1. I'm 0 for 1 here today. NKGN, maybe this is curling back to the VWAP.
Oh, I really hope IDAI starts to get going here. It's starting to look pretty good here. But just need to see that volume.
Jay, sorry to interrupt you there, Jay. This is a really good call here. Crowd, that was some nasty action. 370 after earnings to 315. Took 2 days to do that. Stock here looks like it's trying to bounce off that 315 that you're just talking about. But man, oh man, if you take a look at this 1 hour chart here, you can really see how crazy this was. We actually sold off the day of earnings and then really popped when we released that print. Now we're basically back to where we were before we started. It's like that earnings didn't even happen here. What do you make of this, Jay? Just out of curiosity, larger stock like this in the sector that it's in. What do you make of this?
Well,
I know it's nasty action. That is for sure.
I remember when Andy was telling us, man, this is just look. This crazy market's going to make this thing go that high up, like it did in the after hours, and then I guess the reality is starting to set in of the next 2 days afterwards.
Real quick here, MD's asking, did anyone grab the ALB trade? As a matter of fact, yes. We're going to go back to Zoltan. Zoltan absolutely smacked this ALB trade. Zoltan told me about this ALB trade, and I opted not to take it, which was stupid. Zoltan just absolutely in fuego right now. Should have followed you into that, my man. IMRN going. This actually nice. This is a nice little expanding volume back to the VWAP and through here. Some size here at 4 on IMRN. Miles calling that as well.
Looks like 465 and 550 are the next levels in IMRN to the upside. I feel like that should be okay. It looks like Lit is getting support and trying to push back up through 1161. I think that'd be a good toast, though, to the upside.
To the upside. Yeah, that is actually a good toast. Here we go. This actually might be bouncing fairly clean off this LYT.
Mm-hmm. Just needed that volume to expand to push through that 1161, and we're back in business.
I keep saying it's all about the volume. Jay here saying, not sure, Ryan, but I did notice that Zscaler and PanW were both down yesterday, despite that report. PanW, interestingly enough, actually not doing too bad here today. Higher and holding in there. You know, here, let me actually flip back, because we talked about this a little bit too on Happy Hour. I definitely want to flip back to this real quickly here. Okay. So here we go. Let me bring this up here real quick. 13. Interrupt me if you have a trade. Absolutely. PanW, remember, trade here, the first trade here that we took, which was a banger with 3 closes above the 200. We got it. Then we got the Pelosi push, as we call it. And that actually worked out pretty well. Now we're regressing back to the mean. The curious thing here is, are we going to get the same type of setup? Right? Are we going to get the setup where we actually have several closes above this 200-day and then bounce again? If we take a look at a stock like Adobe, which is also what we were waiting for. Look what this is doing here, right? This is literally wrestling along this 200-day. Now, when we talked about this before, the last time it came down here, look how clean it bounced off the 200-day before. This time, though, looks like it might not have enough strength. Today, really going to be the decision point there on Adobe. And then finally, with this 200-day example, here's Snow. I did take this one. Look at the bounce here. We tried to bounce initially, but that secondary move, we actually broke down beneath that 200. Does look like we're firming up here on the 500. Maybe we'll get a couple of closes above that.
Lit having a bit of a hard time here. It's trying to push up and close back up through that 1161, but the sellers are really coming in and hammering this thing. So
Pelosi push, LOL. I mean, look, that's what happened. I'm going to call it like it is. Grom going, says Miles. Miles, good to see you this morning.
I was trading up earlier today, too.
Yeah, it sure was. And this actually looking like it's going to attack that pre-market high here. Some size at 136 on Grom. It's like, looks like they're going to go to Powell here on CNBC.
Okay. Looks like CERO is still trying to find a bottom here. It got pretty close to that 200 EMA. Now it's starting to curl a bit. Let's see if it can get the volume and start pushing it back up through.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I really do. I hate to say it. But I want to claw back on this name. I really do. I want to try to claw it back on this name. I know how dangerous that is, though.
All right, looks like Lit's still getting some volume here.
8 move here. God, I should have just stayed in this. This is what I mean. I'm getting on some of these day trades. I'm really getting flushed out. This might be going back towards the VWAP here, folks. I got VWAP here at $10 on CERO. Sorry, I'll flip over to that Lit trade, but man, oh man, thing's super thin. Okay, let me flip over to Lit. I could probably watch that back and forth all day. Here we go on Lit. Let's see if this actually takes off and takes this out. $12 is my spot here on Lit. Excuse me.
You could look at that
I've
one
done
too
that
if you want.
twice already today. I don't want to do that anymore. My God.
Yeah, it's really having a hard time with that at 1160.61 level.
Yeah, I thought about this too. Alyssa has the perfect graphics material for t-shirts. Well, like I said, that idea is still frothing around back there. Let me flip back over to my scanner on my other page here real quick. HNST, that really kind of gave it up after that pop. Grom going for those pre-market highs here on Grom. And through.
Yeah, this I don't have any levels for this one, but I bet if I put some in, I could probably tell you where this thing is headed. Lit still dealing with that at 160. I'm sorry, 1160 area. Really having a hard time with it.
Sound popping here. You'd mentioned that earlier. That's actually at the highs of the day here.
Look at COCH had some moves too.
Daddy backstrap. You're going to get a register ring for your, oops, looking for a pullback. That was the wrong one. Here we go. Just took 40% gain on Intel 2026 leaps.
Nice.
VTYX, Bex is on VTYX, eyeing it here. Let's see what we got. VTY. Oh, that was actually a move through the VWAP here. Now we do have the pre-market high, another $1 above here, another $1 above here on VTYX. So if that gets going, you might have something there. What's going on with mindmed? That is, we read the catalyst earlier. Let me go back to it. I'll give it to you again. Mindmed coming up off that VWAP. What's up?
Oh, he says he still has some of that in the dusty cookie jar. I know what he's talking about.
Oh, I see. Okay, so he was joking and doesn't actually need me to read the report.
Well, no, he probably does want. He's probably legitimately asking, but then he attached a joke to that. So I appreciate it. Question with a little bit of humor. Good times.
Yeah, that is indeed. We do appreciate that here. IPA trying to reclaim its VWAP.
Okay, are you going to go, Lit? You going to go here? Looks like it's trying to.
He does actually
Let's
want
go,
that.
Lit.
Okay, let me get. Let's go in.
Yeah, let's get lit.
Here we go. Here we go, folks. The jokes are about to start flying. MNMD, let me get you that catalyst here. MindMed shares trading higher after the company received FDA breakthrough therapy designation for its MM120 program in generalized anxiety disorder. It announced a 12-week durability data from its phase 2B study. That is your catalyst. Looks like
Lit might be headed lower if we can't close above that 1161. Just putting that out there. Regarding MindMed, yeah, they had that news, and they also did the offering as well. That had the $170 million offering with the price at $6 a share.
Daddy Backstrap asking me, Ryan, do you use any options for your long-term accounts such as Wheels Strat, etc.? So I will occasionally trade options in my longer-term account, but options for me are pretty much just a trading vehicle. They're not necessarily an investment, so I don't have a whole lot of that in the long-term account. I will say I am hoping to change that. I'm going to kind of learn along with you folks, with Anne-Marie, who's incredible at this. And we'll see if we can actually kind of start putting that together. But longer term is mostly stock, so I don't have to deal with the time decay. Daddy Backstrap.
Yeah, Lit coming back in. Those the wicks it's producing on these a couple of candles here on the 5-minute don't look great, and it's not getting it back above 1161. So we need to close above that in order to see more upside. Maybe it's on deck for later. We'll just have to wait and see what the price action is. But I still want to see this go to 17.
CERO on that little curl back that looked enticing rolled right over. Very, very glad. This is sometimes why you don't take revenge trades. PLTR getting mentioned. Yeah, we talked about this one here recently. I like Palantir. I really want this on a pullback, though. I want this at a better price.
Yep.
I want this at a better price.
Well, what else?
Long-term account is actually doing pretty well. Let's take a look. SSY. I gotta get the ticker right here. See what that's doing. Oh, rolling over from its earnings beat here. Look at that. This is what I mean about this stock. It's just been very, very tough. It's not been great. Yeah. So wheel strike, you're talking about selling options. That's kind of what I'm thinking about doing. Moving to a more selling options plan than buying them. We'll see though. We'll see how it ends up going. IMRN going.
So this is not a day trade or anything. This is a longer term position that I have. Remember, I was telling you I started picking up FMC Corporation. Let's see when I started getting this. It was last year. I started buying this back as early as August.
What's the ticker? SMC?
FMC. This is essentially it's just a fertilizer company, but it's in basic materials. It's got a pretty good looking setup right now. It looks like it wants to try to take out 65. But this is a long-term hold for me. I was buying it. Now we've come down and sort of made a double bottom. I was buying it since August. Kept buying it on the way down. Bought a lot of it in around the 50 handle. Now we're coming back up. This looks like it could reverse and at least go to 73. But just thought I'd put that out there.
Okay.
Am I still eyeing Magna? I'm in Magna. I am in it, but I have not completed building my position. So if it goes lower, I'll still add, but I still like the company. This is MGA that he's referring to.
MGA. Okay.
This is a auto parts manufacturer.
Sound getting a mention here. We'll check on SoundHound. Why didn't you look? There we go. So, oh my gosh, SoundHound really ripping here. APM going for 7.
This was yesterday.
This might have found that bottom here at 6. It did move through that VWAP. So
APM curling, also another one we traded. I think this was yesterday as well. Meds, MEDS. This broke out a 17 in the pre-market, came back down, traded underneath it. And now we're back above it again. This would be interesting to watch or see if we can get up to 1972. That was the next level I had to the upside. We got that yesterday for sure.
Med's super thin, by the way. AISP being mentioned, this kind of coming back to the VWAP. By the way, take a look at Yext. Jay, this was a great mention. I know this sold off right out of the gate, right from the highs, but bouncing pretty clean off this 6.50 bounce here in Yext already. And it's been pretty quick. It's not been volatile like some of these the garbage that I was trading here earlier, like CERO.
Crow, is this MGA or FMC? Either way, yeah. I mean, I think both companies are good. PLTR went under 27. IMRN looks to be ripping right now.
Yeah, that was the one Crow called. That went back to the VWAP, but it's pushing away now.
Magna. Okay. Well, thanks. For that little tidbit of information, I appreciate that. And if we continue to get more weakness in that, I'll be adding more. What else do we got here?
Jeff D's mentioning that Datadog, ticker DDOG, seems to be finding some support. Looks like that stopped here about 122 on Datadog. Worth noting that I've actually got that 200-day moving average down here at 106 on Datadog. So definitely has some more room beneath it if it starts to break down. But to Jeff's point, maybe it is kind of finding a bottom here.
Yeah, when I look at a daily chart of Datadog, it seems about, what do you think, Jeff? About somewhere between 118 to 120 looks like a good support zone based on the price action, from the past few years on the daily. Is that what you're thinking? I mean, you can take a look at it on your chart, Ryan. You see how that range 118 to 120 has got some pretty good.
Let's do that here. I'm sorry, I'm changing my screens right here. Let me do that real quick. D-Dog. Gotta spell it right, man. Here we go. Data dog. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go back to where are you? Why can't I find these? Here we go. Sorry. All right. Here is your data dog. So you want to roll with those levels again, real quick? 13.
118 to 120.
Okay. So here's your 118 level right in here. And
Yeah.
120, that's about up to right here. So that does look like a pretty, maybe that is, maybe you're right there, pretty decent support.
Put a horizontal line there and you can zoom
Yeah.
even further out. I mean, we're talking like multiple years here you could zoom out to, and you'll see like just how often this that price area gets support and resistance.
Yeah, this is a really good call. Really, really good call here, 13.
Well, thank you, Jeff.
Well, and Jeff too.
Yes.
No one's forgetting about Jeff. That was not my intention. That was not my intention. But you're welcome. Jeff, one of the Arizona people I still need to make plans with. I'm sorry about the last trip, dude. Jay Summers taking my trash and turning it into treasure. Looks like Jay Summers here in CERO 625. Boy, you trying to catch that falling knife. Love that it worked here out at 655. Register ring for somebody here. Oh my God. Actually looking at CERO right now, they brought in, this thing popped. They just brought in a huge bid at 680. Looks like it actually got hit there. Here we go. This is going higher here on CERO. 7 up now. VWAP not till 975 here on CERO. Maybe this is it, folks. There's through 7 now.
I think it needs to break through 785.
Okay. 785 might be our spot here on CERO. We'll see if we get it.
Grom is about to go.
Okay, I'll flip over to that for the time being.
It's trying to make its way through 150. There's a big wall there, but if it breaks through that,
yep.
See ya.
Let's see if it gets yanked or if it actually.
There we go.
There it goes. Right through. 5-cent pop right through. I got a little bit more size at 163 above here on Grom. This might be getting going.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm definitely nervous for a yank here on Grom.
It certainly looks like it could, huh?
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they're going to shake out some of those weak hands, yank this back to the VWAP. That would make sense. They sometimes don't do things that make sense.
Yeah. The other thing that happens is that all the other bulls go, "What? This is moving," and then they all just pile into it.
Yep, that pile-in effect.
Mm-hmm. Show us something good, market.
Spy Hod's just
think,
on command, Joe. Joe's looking for some good news. Boom, spy at Hod.
IMRN looks like it's going to be next.
This actually, yeah, this does look like a break maybe through 420. Get ready, Crow.
Yeah,
here's your 420 key level.
A little bit more volume expansion, and we're off. And there we go.
Oh, Jay. Doing the dirty here on Rivian. Not surprised. Pre-market high opening price is your high of day. This thing clearly moving back down and clearly using that VWAP as resistance here. So Rivian rolling back over here. Maybe start up that talk of Apple buying it. Who knows? ADIL, this is a good call here. This popped on volume through that VWAP.
Lit still headed lower, might be finding support, but if it does not hold 10, then I think it is going to 860.
It's right beneath 10, but it is trying to reclaim that. The MACD here, this actually looks pretty weak. This actually looks like this weakness wants to kind of expand here on Lit.
Yeah, Grom had a pop to 157, and it pulled back. It might not be done, but I'm not sure. The volume still needs to kind of stay where it's at. Otherwise, it might pull back in a little bit. It looks like HNST is bouncing off its 200 EMA and trying to move back
Yep,
up.
this curling here.
Okay. Let me take a look at the SPY because, oh, wow, SPY did go pretty high.
It sure is. And we've got the Senate Banking Committee doing their question and answer. Now, I have it on, but I have it on mute here. So I can't actually hear what they're saying.
Mindmed holding up, could go. Let's take a look. Thank you for that, smoked tuna. Yeah, I can see that too. Maybe the next, what do we have left in here? The next 5 minutes, within the next 5 minutes, maybe? Just looking around. It looks like Lyft's still trying to hold 10, or not Lyft, Lit. See what you did there?
See, I know it's totally my fault. You got to blame me for that. That was an easy one. You got to blame me for that one. We rolled through this mindmed. This does look like this is going to trade up a little bit more. Let me take a look here. IPA, this thing really hasn't gotten going. We already took a look at Grom. That's continuing to go here.
Yeah, making new highs in Grom.
What's this Ehab? I don't even know this one. Inhabit. Let me look this up on Pro and see if I can get some information about it. Oh, they have a conference call going on right now. Provides home health and hospice services. Okay. They reported earnings beat on the top and bottom line. That was last night. So it's trading up. UBS upgraded them. Okay, there we go. Thank you, Benzinga Pro, by the way, for I had pulled up a stock that I saw on a scanner, had no idea about it, and within 20 seconds, brought up to speed on it. Thank you, BZ Pro. Oh, let's take a look here at NYCB. Is anyone trading that? Richard, I know you have been trading that earlier this week. Are you still trading it?
I think Jay Rice really brings up a good talking point since we were discussing it yesterday.
What is that here real quick? This one, Bitcoin, GBTC, and Bitto continue to outperform the miners, Mara and Riot. Yeah, we did talk about this. Let me see which one of those I can get in here. BITO. This is the Bitcoin strategy ETF. This actually holding some of that move up here. Bitcoin price, by the way, the futures price here, 68K, almost on the nose.
Yeah. So the thing that I thought that was really interesting about that conversation, and why also Jay bringing that up, because yes, these Bitcoin miners, as Andy that we were talking about mentioned yesterday, they have these costs. Gold miners, for example, they have costs. So you're seeing that the gold miners wouldn't be doing as well as some of the gold streamers or gold traders or exchanges would be. So when you look at the same thing with Bitcoin, the miners aren't doing well, but look at the stock like Coin, an exchange that's doing really well. So there seems to me like the miners are not the play right now, no matter what it is. I mean, Coin, if you look at it daily compared to Mara or Riot or any of those other miners, it's performing much better.
Yeah, and Mara, this has really rolled over here. I think if I recall correctly, Riot's in even worse shape. Yeah, Riot is in even worse shape. Let me ask you, Jay, are you trading anything with Bitcoin exposure at all? If I recall correctly, you're not the biggest Bitcoin fan out there. Just wondering if you're trading it at all. Good point on Coin 13.
Thank you.
This has been a good discussion. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the other thing is we talked a little bit earlier this week about the market and there being rotation, right? Yeah. Jay, I know you had talked earlier about banks. It seemed like 13, you did a really good job breaking out the Mag 7, showing the stocks that were up versus the stocks that were down, and saying that it's likely that traders actually rotated out of ones that weren't working into ones that were working. We had Jay talking about the rotation into bank. Bitcoin seems to definitely have caught a bid. I tend to agree with you guys. I think it is more rotation. People are still looking for returns in the market. It's not as if they're just bringing everything out of the market and staying on the sidelines. Risk definitely seems to be on in certain buckets. Yeah, so and you have some Ethereum. Okay, awesome. So do I. So I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. And I just hold the coins.
The thought was... Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I started looking at something else. I looked at
that happens LYT. To me every single day. I'm glad I'm not alone. Thank you.
No, I was just looking at LYT and it's like, oh, it's still holding 10. Then I forgot what I was going to say. But it'll come back to me, and then we'll out of context, I'll bring it up.
Oh, sure. I am a pro at things out of context. Believe me. Brera here, curling back towards the VWAP. Good call here.
Yeah, I still think Smoke Tuna is right. I think MindMed might go. It's certainly moving up to take out the the regular session high of 897. Yeah, me too, Brett.
Voodoo, great scalp here on ARM. Let me ask you, what was this? What were you looking at here for the scalp? Just cleared 1 point in an arm long scalp, in at 143.88, out at 144.88, just kind of a scalp play. Did you use was it the VWAP? What were you looking at here? Good scalp there on ARM to the long side.
Okay, and mindmed, it's going. It's slow, but it's still going. I'm just hoping that we get the volume to push through that 897. Otherwise, we might retreat.
Yep, there we go. And that is the high print. 897. That is the high print. Here we go. It's coming up to that. Money flow, Voodoo. I should have known. I should have known.
Yeah,
I should have known, Voodoo. I'm sorry, my man.
Great job, Kenya Riddle. I like when we have the whole numbers, you know.
Awesome job executing your plan.
Yeah, so we're getting a little bit of weakness with mindmed. If the volume expands here, we're going to 950.
Here we go. Here we go. Here's 9. They cleared that size in a hurry.
Said,
cleared that size in
13's talking again. Let's buy this up.
There we go. Market is listening to you.
Yeah. All right. Well, up to 911 and going higher.
SOUN next leg up here.
Oh, I never said he was wrong. Never said that. As a matter of fact, I agreed with him. It's making its way up there, 917 now, targeting 950.
Yeah, go ahead, Voodoo. And again, I'm sorry. This week has been really kind of crazy for me. I know that you've already sent me one. I haven't gotten back to you. I will. I promise. I promise. I just need to stay on top of my stuff for this week here.
HNST slowly moving away from that 200 EMA where we saw that bounce. This one's getting back up to my VWAP, which is at 407.
Mine too. It's exactly where it's going, it looks like.
Yeah, I'd expect it to have a hard time either getting up to VWAP or getting through VWAP. If you look to the left, we're going up to the supply area that we put in from pre-market. So this is going to be a little bit difficult for it to work through, or it's just going to absolutely shoot right through it on a big order. But I think we're going to run into some resistance at the VWAP at first.
Looked like CERO was trying to curl there and got hit again. That thing really, really thin. Be careful if you're trading that. Good job, Jay Summers, hitting that one earlier. I was definitely too early to that. I think I might try to wait some of these out because we've seen this pattern quite a bit. OCEA getting mentioned here. This flagging right at the VWAP. You love to see that. That size at 5 just got deleted.
mindmed pulling back now after getting up to 939, so not quite 950, but pretty close. It was not bad. This might still have some room to move, but needs to hold these levels. Needs to hold the breakout level, which we were pegging at about 9. Oh, what else? I'm just looking at SoundHound. Okay, so SoundHound, the level that I have that it's heading towards is 575. We're just 8 cents away from that when it got to 576. We're going higher. We're almost there. CERO starting to get some volume here. Looks like it's going to try to take another stab at getting over the 65 EMA. It's been rejected ever since been rejected at that level ever since it got beneath there.
Yep, here you go.
Okay, HNST moving up still. IMRN looks like it's trying to break the intraday. Okay, there it just did.
There it goes. Whoa, look at that. Robert Butler mentioning Amazon trending up. Amazon has actually been pretty good recently. I like the trading action in Amazon. I am still long an upside butterfly here on Amazon. So
you just reminded me of what I was going to say. You said Amazon.
Oh.
Yeah. So the point I was going to make about those Mag 7s is that we have 3 that are trading underneath their 200-day SMA, and the others are still above it. And we're talking like way above it. In order to come down to their 200 EMAs, they'd have to fall 15 to 45%. But the ones that are beneath their 200 SMA is Google, Tesla, and Apple. So the thought with the rotation is that once we start to get to some of those, a certain point with those other 4 that aren't not near the 200-day SMA, we'll start to see rotation out of those and into the weaker ones. Is all I was trying to.
Yeah, and kind of looking at Google here, Google actually looks like here. Let me actually flip over to this other chart. That would make it easier. Google looks like it's trying to reclaim this 200-day. So this actually would be something to watch here on Google. Let's roll through some of those other stocks that you mentioned so we can just get an idea of what the daily chart looks like. Here's Apple. Apple looks like it's continuing to try and break down. Now, I know we bounced once here today, but 13, I think this 165, 160 level you've talked about quite a bit. I think that's coming here.
Oh, yeah. I want those orders filled.
Yeah.
But real quick before we move on further with the Mag 7, MN mindmed.
There you go.
I'm not going to tongue twist myself. That one got up to 154, and it's it's still trading at that 150 area. We're through it again. That was the level that I had. Now we're starting to move up. Next level I have in mindmed is 1130.
1130. So clear skies up to there. Buys look good here too, by the way. Kalu on AMC today. Kalu, good luck with AMC. Nice little move out of the gate here.
Yeah, together ape strong. Did we want to cover more of those other Mag 7s? But
we can. Yeah, let me sorry, I got messaged here from work, so let me just make sure nobody's on fire. There we go, dude. Here we go. So there's a birthday thread going. I have an ask of the chat. On our internal work communication, we have a thread going wishing Jason a happy birthday. Can I get the chat to flood the chat with happy birthday, Jason? I just mean just flood the chat. Just give me something to screenshot and throw in here. Flood the chat for me. Show Jason some love. Happy birthday, Jason. Flood it up.
Yeah, flood it up, and then screenshot the entire screen with both of us just going,
Okay, I'll do that.
Just tell me when.
Here we go. Here we go. You guys are doing it. I love it. Oh, as soon as this fills up, I'm gonna screenshot the entire thing. Let's go. Let's go, folks. Oh, our community is the shit. And then I will get a picture of you and me here at 13. We'll wish him a happy birthday.
All right.
Let's go. You guys are awesome. You guys are absolutely awesome. Okay. Boom. Chat filled. You guys did it. Flooding the chat. Literally flooding it. Okay, 13. We got to pose for our picture. You ready?
Yeah.
What are you doing again? Okay, happy birthday. Okay, I have to screenshot this. So I'm gonna only do one hand, I think, like this. Okay, ready?
Go.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good, dude. This is so good. We out here having fun.
And making money. All right, looking around at some of these things after our shenanigans.
Okay. I gotta focus here. I'm having way too much fun today.
OCEA.
Thank you, by the way, chat. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, chat. And OCEA, the volume needs to expand some more, but it's still setting up to make another visit up to 555. So we'll see if we can get that. These wicks that it's making at the top here on the 5-minute chart don't look that great.
No, but you know what does look great is the higher lows that are pretty much pinning this to VWAP. So I definitely like that on OCEA. By the way, Yext, I just want to check in on this again because this wasn't on my scanner. Jay called this out. Look, we got multiple trading opportunities here. Big sell-off right out of the open. This thing bounced. Maybe it might be firming up again. Let's see what happens if it moves through that VWAP. David Lynn just out here. Absolutely love this. Now everyone who wished Raz a happy birthday, hit that like if you haven't already.
Yeah. Make this the most liked show right on Benzinga. So
that would be awesome.
We can get all the attention focused on it. Look at.
I will say you guys have done an excellent job, really kind of growing. I've noticed there's definitely the stats show that there are more viewers, more participation. Honestly, couldn't do it without the everyone participating here. So keep it up. You guys are doing great.
Let's keep it going.
Great.
Looks like we're about to make new all-time highs in the SPY. What was the all-time high before?
13. Your picture is just out of it. Oh, this is so good. This is okay.
It's on the internet forever.
Today was a good day. Today was a good day. Today was a good day. That's for sure.
Yeah, but the SPY, it's flirting with new all-time highs. So here's the question: do we break out into new all-time highs, or do we retreat here?
Yeah, here's the question: do we slow down, or do we keep up this momentum that we've been in? This cycle that we've been in here.
Well, we've traded 11.5 million shares today in the SPY, so we'll probably end up underneath 70 million today.
Yeah, I would imagine so, unless something happens from this testimony. And I mean,
well, like
Powell says, quote, working to develop a new rule book for bank supervision.
Okay, so how are the financials doing now?
I wish I had more context on that.
It sounds just like we're going to, create more rules and regulations is what it sounds like. So that's why I was kind of like almost in jest, wondering how the financial sector is doing. If they heard that and go, oh, well, that doesn't sound good for us.
So interesting. There must have been a question. I didn't hear what the question was. One of the quotes here, Fed Chair Powell says, Fed is independent. And the way we do that is we stay out of political issues like the immigration policy. Okay. So definitely that's good to hear, frankly. Fed Chair Powell says when rates are normalized, underlying housing shortage will still put upward pressure on prices.
Yes.
Okay, so that's telling me that home prices not likely to drop, right? That's the read I get from that.
Yeah, and it's funny that he's saying that we don't dabble in politics. Like he specifically mentioned immigration, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, he said like immigration policy, basically saying that they're going to remain independent. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the funny thing to me, because I think immigration is one of the biggest factors as to why the housing prices are so high right now.
Yeah.
You got to have a place to put all these folks coming into the country. Yeah. I don't want to get too political about it, but I think that it's kind of like a thinly veiled, like, oh, look at this information here. And here's some things that we're not going to be dabbling with, but we're going to mention this word because this is one of the reasons we think it's
interesting. No, that's an interesting point. I hadn't thought of that. That's an interesting point. By the way, a good call here, Smoke Tuna. Archer moving to the lows. Let me see if there's any news here on Archer. I do have a small position in this. This is just one that forces me to watch it. It's nothing of any consequence, so I'm not even really worried about the sell-off, but I do want to know what's going on. Hello, office assistant. All right, he doesn't want to do work again. I don't see any fresh news here on Archer, so I'll bring that to you if we find it. Don't see it yet, though. Archer really pounding the lows here. 405 now on Archer.
Yeah.
13. Am I crazy? This has me wanting to add maybe if we go below 4 here.
I mean, I'll need to look at it. I'll probably end up adding too. But the thing is that we've known that this is going to be a company that's going to be eating cash for a little bit.
Which is why I just have a very, very small position. And just thinking maybe we should add to that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that they'll start seeing revenue until 2025 or 2026. But I think this is one of the stronger, if not the strongest, eVTOL names out there.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. MindMed hit 10. COCH, this was trading up here. This actually might take another leg if it gets volume. MNMD, let's see what that has here. That did, oh my God, this thing has been really, look at this move. Yep. Okay, so this right here, when we're in a really healthy market, Like when you see some of like my day trading scalps, some of the setups that work the best are exactly what you see here in MNMD. Yes, we had a catalyst from this morning, but we had an impulse move that kind of reshifted the price, restructured the price. This put a high at exactly 9, right? That says 9. Yep. And then when we came back into the VWAP, we kind of normalized. We shook out some of the weak hands. And then look what happened. As we moved back towards that high, look what the volume did. The volume expanded. And this break right here is normally a buy signal. Though this has not been working all that great for me, but bang, look at mindmed. This is doing exactly what we hope to capture. So I'm sorry I'm not trading this one today. I am going to try to hit these, but these have not been huge winners. Setups like this have not been huge winners recently. Maybe the tide is changing. That'd be great. Someone call Bob Dylan. The times they are changing.
Yeah, the 950 level, that was the one where we broke out of, and we're almost at the 1130 level, which is next. So we could see a bit of pullback there, or we could just absolutely fly through it and go to the next level, which I was going to say
that literally started to pick up as you were mentioning. It started to pick up speed there.
Yeah, so this
nice breakout here on mindmed.
Yeah, this could continue to move up, but we'll see. Jay,
look at this Rivian fade, man. Look at this fade. Sometimes, there might be a different news post, but the story is still the same here. Rivian really weak. This thing do nothing but fading out of the gate.
Looks like
almost red.
Looks like SoundHound's about to hit the 575 level that I have, or trying to break through it at least. Volume's okay, but it seems like it's starting to wane a bit. I don't know.
Sound looks like this actually wants to go here. Kalu, yeah, we took a look at AMC. AMC did this, another leg up here. Kalu, man, you're on the winners again, dude. Here we go. Let's go. IDAI, tell me that that's actually moving again.
It looks like it's trying to break through VWAP.
You know what I like here, 13? So we got that volume pop earlier that took us above 125. We retraced the entire stick, but we didn't break down. So whatever it was shaking out there, it's not as if things are getting worse quickly here. Maybe this can actually get another volume pop and actually give us a trade here on IDAI. Andy added. Okay, yeah, see, this is the second time. So here, let me, first of all, let me flip over here real quick. We're going to pull the curtain back for you non-subs here. You guys ready for this? We're going to pull the curtain back real quick. And by the way, I didn't ask 13. I didn't ask 13 if this was okay that I do this, so I'm just going to do this without his permission. Hopefully it is okay. One of the reasons that you should consider Benzinga Pro is because in addition to 13 taking time out of his day to live trade with us here, he's also the main moderator in the happy hour chat. So we have an entire chat dedicated to the happy hour show that we talk about at the end of the day. 13's the moderator in there, posting recaps. Even if you miss something, posting ideas. So one of the things that we're talking about, one of the traders that joins us on happy hour, big on IDAI. Let's see what they're saying here. What he's saying here in IDAI, interesting AI play.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, so we know what he means. But
yeah,
for the other folks that don't know what we've been talking about, IDAI, we've been talking about AI plays that filter hate speech and content that online platforms like Facebook and I guess X to a degree. They have certain filters that prevent certain things from being posted. IDAI is one such company that's capable of doing that. We talked about another one, iNod. They both are in that. So they could get going pretty good with these general election days coming up.
I think you're right there. Real quickly on NVIDIA driving to 1,000, currently at 914. I'm sure once it's there, someone will upgrade its target to 2,000 and then 3,000. Why not? He's probably right there. Here's your 1 week chart from Jeff Dees. By the way, Jeff Dees, you like his really clean charting ability. Mm-hmm. Jeff Dees often posting his research and charts in here all for free. So guys, look, I'm sure you guys have your tools, your communities, the things that make you comfortable. If you're still looking, check out BZ Pro. It's more than just what you see here. It is an entire community of traders sharing things across the day. So Just sorry for the plug. It is a passion of mine, though. 13 does a really, really great job. Go check it out.
Lots of great ideas in there.
Lots of great. I've made a lot of money from just that group.
Look at
just that group.
You were absolutely correct about that, Archer. I should have looked at a daily chart because when I was looking at yours, I saw that we had a near bounce off the 500 day SMA. What a bounce off that low. What did we get low to?
Look at that. Yeah. So maybe this was just someone being liquidated, kind of a panic sell or just a liquidation sell. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, look at the moves we've had recently. We just death crossed too. So, we could go lower, but yeah, this is a pretty big move, and it looks like we're trying to find a bottom at this. So we'll see what happens here with that one. All right, looks like IDAI looks like it wants to get going here. The volume's just almost non-existent in it. It's very spready. Well, kind of spready, but it's just not much buying and selling happening. But we're right up to that VWAP, and it looks like the next move could take us over. Just volume again.
All about the volume. Puff Daddy should have made a song all about the volume, baby, instead of the Benjamins. I think that would have been more applicable to current times. Because
after the volume come the Benjamins.
See? 13, you're picking up what I'm putting down. Let's go.
Oh, wow. We're dropping it like it's hot. Anyway, LYT is pushing back up to the feet.
Okay. Let's bring this back. Let's land this plane safely, huh?
How about we do that? Even though crashing can be fun sometimes too.
Okay. Simmer down with the crash talk here. LYT back to the VWAP. Let's see if we move through that there. LYT. See what up. See what the Twitter traders are on.
PIT expanding volume. Let's take a look at that because I don't have
let's do it.
Kid pick. Not sure I'd go with that name, but what's this about?
Yeah. There's a volume equals money flow. Volume equals money flow. So remember, Voodoo always talking about the money flow indicator here. We're drawing connections now. The volume did expand here, and this is moving off that consolidation area here on pick. Some other stocks, take a look at here. Grom kind of coming back in. CELZ, that might be curling back towards that VWAP.
Pick had a reverse 5-for-1 reverse split this week. So checking that box. All right.
D's Nuts asking, has anyone ever rolled? I mean, look, he made his handle D's Nuts. I'm going to address the man by the handle that he created, even if it makes people laugh. Has anyone ever rolled an option to a later date to avoid a loss? So to avoid a loss, I guess I'd ask what you mean right there. You've got an option position that's down or cut down significantly, and you want to roll it out longer to give yourself some more time to see if your thesis ends up working. Am I getting that correct? The one way that I've done this before is I've sold and rolled, right? So I've had a options position. The stock price moved up. Maybe I only had a couple of contracts. So I close all the contracts, book the gains, and then buy a higher strike further out. So I sold and rolled out. That still gives me the exposure with less capital in the second trade. So I'm actually able to book some of those gains without having to trim the position, right? I just close the position and then reinvest some of that capital in a position further out. So I've done that plenty of times when things have worked out. So you have an option that expires tomorrow. So here's how I would say that. Anyone in the group that wants to offer their thought on this, please do so. But here's what I would say. If your option is going to expire worthless tomorrow, what are you trying to hang on for? Why are you holding this? Are you sure that your thesis was correct? Do you still think that this is going to play out? Why would you, in that case, kind of just let that option expire and then maybe take a gamble on a different one further out? I'd say reassess your plan and figure out why you want to do that first.
Looks like HNST is, it might be making a move here in the next maybe 10, 15 minutes. But it's holding these levels after coming off the 200 EMA. We got a little bit of pullback after hitting 4. and it's trying to get through 4.
Which ticker is this?
This is HNST. This is the honest company.
Honesty, yeah. Okay, here we
Which
go.
I call BS. There's no such thing as an honest company.
Which I call BS. Jay here, when you roll, you create a sale. So no matter what, and then Jay goes on to say you can roll up and out or down and out. Either way, you're creating a taxable event. That is also true.
I don't know that this is anything that's going to work here, but yesterday NKGN was a mover. We had it moving in pre-market today. We're coming up to a pretty significant level here of about call it 225, and it looks like it wants to try to break through that in just a bit here. You see what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, sorry. I was reading something else. So here's an NKGN. It actually looks like this is going to try and pop this consolidation area off.
Yeah, it's you could draw a line at about 225, and you could see that that's the
here we go. Boom, look at that, dude. That it literally happened as you were given the rundown on it. Bang.
Yeah. And then it's back underneath.
234 and then a yank. Sometimes you got to be quick on these, by the way.
Yeah. And this is the level that it's been trying to stay above pretty much all day. Even in the pre-market, we got a breakout, and then we just came right back beneath it. So this is a pretty important level. So that break right there is not surprising, but we might continue to see more upside. Keep this one on your radar for another trade setup, or trade it here. I don't care. It's your money. It looks like LYT is also getting going here too. We might actually make another run in this one.
Let me bring LYT up here. I can't believe that NKGN popped as we were talking about it. That's just awesome. That's just awesome.
Looks like it's got a big wall at 1180. And it's going to try to get through here.
Oh, this is LYT. What? Sometimes that menu is fooling with me here. Here's LYT. Archer right back up. They actually brought a bid in there in Archer too.
There we go. LYT starting to move. Going for 12, it looks like.
HNST?
No, LYT. So on LYT.
On that. Yeah, okay. There it is.
There we go.
Come on, Ryan.
This one's really starting to move. I think it wants 14 again. Next level I have after 1161 is 17.
Yeah, I think that 14 is on deck here. I'm actually going to bring this up in my broker just in case. Just in case. Just in case. I'm actually having a great day in my swing and long account here. SSYS definitely helping that.
Hell yes, brother. Oh, look. Oh, IDAI. It had that break.
Let's see. Let's bring it up. IDAI also helping that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
But, you know, it's just very, very slow moving right now. We need more volume in this one. If we get some volume in this thing, oh, that would be beautiful.
Yeah, I got a little bit of size here on IDAI at 119. 118. Okay, Jay with a lesson. We'll do lessons anytime. Free knowledge is great knowledge, so we'll do lessons. Let's do a lesson on this, Ryan. Say you bought GE and sold the 160 calls for 2. They're now at 4. And they expire today. You can buy the 160s back and roll into the 165 or 170 a week, month, 90 days. This is basically saying if you bought GE, the stock, right? Bought GE and sold the 160 calls for $2, you're collecting that premium. Now that premium is at 4. So you're talking about buying them back and then rolling out further. And in this case, you can actually choose your time frame.
LYT.
Sydney, I don't even know what this means. Sydney, I love it though. IDAI continuing to trade up here.
Oh, no, LYT is the mover. Hell yes! Look at this bad boy go. Woo! New highs.
Right to that 14. It's a 13. This was
and halted.
13, 14. All this numbers that are right around here. This was a great call, dude. This was a great call. So CERO was not the right stock to trade here today. LYT was. Great job hitting that. CERO down to 5 here, by the way.
And I'm not gonna trade this because I just traded this movement here in LYT, but I'm thinking that out of this halt, we're gonna just blast off to 17. Not saying that that's going to happen, but if we keep that momentum that we were just seeing into this halt here, that might happen. So let's see what's moving next now.
Anyone got any thoughts on Broadcom earnings today? Or is that like a stupid question?
No, I don't think it's a stupid question at all. I think this is going to be consequential to how the market moves, especially on the tech side. This is one of the larger holdings of the QQQ, and this is the last of the top 10. I think it's like the top 10 of the QQQs. This is like the last of their top 10 to report. So after that, there's going to be, like as Andy was mentioning, there's going to be a news gap. There's not going to be a whole lot of earnings or any real information that is going to drive the market. It's going to be a little bit boring. So I would expect that aside from economic reports, this market might end up starting to trade down on a lack of news. And we've heard a lot of people talking about, late February, early March, mid-March is when we're going to start seeing a sell-off. I agree with that. We should be seeing a sell-off at that point soon.
Yeah, see this and Jay, real quick on Avago. This is exactly where I fall on this, because like I've watched a lot of these other things report, and it has me thinking, oh well, Broadcom probably going to have a great report. Jay hitting it right on the head here though. AVGO, it's a tough setup. It ran a lot into the report, and I mean even if you take a look at those options, the options that expire next week, right? The March monthly contract, the at the money option is $72. I mean these are expensive contracts. Obviously, the stock itself is $1,400 a share. So,
Meta
cost setup tough. 2 at all-time highs. Agree. Still watching LYT here. I guess I'll flip around to some more while the stock is halted. We do have 9 minutes left here. We are going to be going over to AB after this. We're still going. We still got some more trading to do here. But we do have Benzinga live continuing here at 11, and we're going to have Zunade coming on at 11:30 and All Access at 12. So we got plenty of content here for you. Everything is going to be automatic. You don't have to do anything. Brera kind of sitting here. OCEA getting mentioned. OCEA by Sam. Here we go. OCEA right back up to those intraday highs. Good call, Sam. 550, that spot there.
This is the one where I was talking about the 555 level being the next level. So we went up to 565, came back in. We're testing this again now. This looks like it could end up breaking, especially if we continue to see volume expansion. Next level I have is 730.
APVO being mentioned by Crow here. That is unhalted, moving higher here. Crow's got stacks of dollars with wings being dropped. I love it.
Is he making it rain?
I mean, he's doing something over there. It's Crow.
Looks like, and I know we tried trading this and it doesn't seem to be working out, but it looks like Fastly is trying to make a move over 1350. Might be a slow move if it does.
Just got stopped out of that. Yesterday, the day before, still beneath my stop. So let's actually do a chart on this. And go right here. We're going to go Fastly.
Thinking about it, I think the show prior to this one, pre-market prep, would really help you out with some of that information you're looking for. I don't necessarily think they talk about some of these movers that we do, but just a suggestion.
No, but so he actually mentions pre-market prep here. So I'm going to talk about this here real quick. Then we'll do the Fastly chart. I wish you guys started at 8 a.m. to get a jump on the movers for the day. Pre-market prep helps with the ranges. So what's interesting here is that one of the reasons why I like to do a SPY and movers review right at the top of the live trading show is because I want that to actually be accretive to what pre-market prep does, right? So pre-market prep, they often have great guests on there. Joel likes to do ticker time at the end of pre-market prep where you kind of roll through some of these charts. So my goal when we start up live trading, of course, I want to welcome you and say good morning and say hi. But I want to go right into some of those charts, right? And then we'll kind of figure out. The other thing here thinking about is that some of these smaller stocks that we cover off of those morning movers, they actually don't start moving until a little bit later in the pre-market. The longer I wait on that, the more content I'm going to be able to bring. We're going to get a more holistic view of the pre-market in that case. So I understand where you're coming from here. I would advise that you guys tune into pre-market prep. Those guys are awesome. I learn from them all the time. I mean, Dennis and Joel have been doing this for a long time. Their experience is not to be trifled with, and they know their stuff. And I mean, AB is hilarious. I don't think there's a single day where I've been in AB's presence where he has not made me laugh and feel better about life. And that is an awesome, awesome thing. So I think he does a great job with those two on there.
Lit opened and it went to 1593, and now it's pulling back a bit.
Okay, so here's the Fastly chart. So real quick, I'll flip over to Lit here in a sec 13. I know we're running out of time, but here's that Fastly chart. What I was looking for here is on this big sell-off here, right? We look at this level that we pulled right down to. This level right down here where Fastly gapped up and then had a really great trade. We came down to the same level here. I was hoping for the same play. This also lines up with the 500-day moving average, which is what this purple line is. But instead of getting that push back towards some of those moving averages and the gap, look what happened. We actually broke down out of this formation. So that was my stop, right? We're going to keep this, we're going to keep the loss small here. In fact, just on speaking of pre-market prep, Dennis was talking about how if he trades correctly 55% of the time, he's going to make money. That implies that you're going to take losses like this from time to time. Now, if Fastly recovers and we get above this 500-day moving average, the plan to move back to some of these other moving averages and maybe clear out this gap becomes back in focus. But right now, if this stock keeps selling off or if the market goes crazy or any of that, I don't need to have any capital tied up in this. We'll take a small loss. We'll wait for another setup here on Fastly. Let me go back to Trade the Pool here. We'll take a look at LYT. AB and Goofy are buddies. Hey, Jane, I understand. I took a loss on CERO already. I'm out of that. Prop was down today, unfortunately. My regular account, though, quite nice. So we roll with the punches. Tomorrow's a new day. I love the attitude right there.
Seeing a couple breakdowns here. Nexi from earlier breaking down. We also had mindmed looking like it's starting to break down. Not sure if mindmed's done. It still has some levels of support. Yeah, CERO is not looking great. LYT, we got that pop, and now we're starting to consolidate. If we can hold above maybe 1350, if we can just kind of stay above there and close above there, we could still see some more upside. What else? What else is everybody else seeing? So looking for HNST to make that move to VWAP. IDAI, what would your decision to put any stock in your portfolio? This is IDAI is a we talked about it just a moment ago. It's a play on content filtering for social media platforms.
So I will say this is definitely a play on the content filtering, like we discussed. Time horizon for me on this is not terribly long, right? I want to get a move maybe above 150, maybe up to that 250 level. We actually saw let me see if I can find it on this chart here. Yeah, right here. So this was February 16th. Okay. We saw a huge pop. Big volume pop here on IDAI. This took us as high as 250. I'd like us to get back to that level, and I'll take my gains here. I don't know how great of an investment vehicle this is, so I would be cautious on that. I'm certainly not advising anyone buy anything for an investment purpose. I'm trying to trade this. I'm basically trying to capture the range from where we're at now to the low, to the low twos to 250. If I can get movement from here to that area, I'm going to book my gains and look for something else.
Yeah, I agree. This is not a long-term investment for me. This is also a trade. and that's really all there is to it. Like I do not want to own this for the long term. I don't really think this company is worth it. It doesn't pay a dividend. It's just not something I'd want to hold.
Yep. Well, we appreciate the question. APVO continuing to move here. Is Lit going to another HOD? I mean,
it's trying to. It's still holding these levels, so that's a good sign.
17 was your next level, right? Something like that.
Yes, sir.
All right, we are about to turn this over to AB. Get ready. APVO getting a mention here on Twitter, by the way.
What is this? We traded this one before, I think, right? It's halted.
APVO.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a second halt up per Crow.
Is Lit going to be another hollow? I don't know. Any one of these could be another hollow for all I know. But usually it's going to be the really low float ones. And let's see, Lit. Oh, it's got 1 million shares, so it's possible.
Adios, Lynn. Take care of yourself. Good stuff here today. Thanks for your support. We're basically going to hold the fort down until AB is ready, and then we're going to push forward here.
Yeah, it looks like Soundhound still wants to try to get to 575. It's slowly making its way up there. Good thing that Lit's still holding this level. Need to see what it does over the next 5-10 minutes. Yeah, well, I don't know. I'm not really seeing anything at the moment. I guess maybe Lit's the only other one that really looks like it's setting up. But other than that, what else is everybody looking at?
Grom's getting a mention here in the chat. We'll take a look at Grom. This is still holding below its VWAP here.
Yeah, Grom. I think Grom needs to get back up above 120. Not sure about Grom. I mean, a movement back to VWAP, which I have at about 132, would be nice, but I don't know. The volume's not great in this one, so I'm not going to be looking at this.
IMRN. This is still right beneath its VWAP.
IMRN.
I'm trying to pull some stuff off the Twitter streets as well.
All right, let me see what the scanners are telling us. Let's see what OCEA is doing. Okay, OCEA is knocking on the door.
Yeah, this is trying to break those highs. Yep.
It's trying to break out. So this is the one that could go here. And the next level I have for this one is 730.
Okay, I'm also taking a look at the scanner here. ZV. It's for you penny players out there. ZVSA trading up here.
Looks like Airship finally went Hindenburg.
I shouldn't even laugh, but I can't help it.
Is it too soon? I mean, it was 100 years ago. Is it too soon?
Really, it's probably not. Just the humanity of that joke.
Oh, the humanity.
Had to. AISP really struggling with the VWAP there, by the way.
My humor tends to be on the darker side.
Yeah, mine too, which is why sometimes I just shake my head. CELZ maybe popping off the bottom there.
Yeah.
Good one, says Transitions. Okay, well, at least he appreciates that.
Yeah, I still I'm still watching Soundhound. It's very slow. What was that one we were just talking about? Not what was that one we were just talking about? Was was it Cells, or it was some other one before that, I think.
We are waiting on AB. Here is CELZ coming up off the bottom. I actually think we're ready here. Yep, we're ready here. AB, how you doing, man?
I am good, Ryan. 13. How y'all doing today?
We're doing
right.
really good, dude. We're
you say happy birthday to your boss yet?
I did. I texted him.
Awesome.
No response yet. How about y'all?
Oh, because he's
I
partying.
haven't been able to text him yet because I've been on here, but dude, we got a hell of a
Oh,
screenshot
yeah.
from the community wishing him a happy birthday.
Big
So,
happy birthday.
we also have, it's worth mentioning, Mystery Man shares a birthday with Jason here in the chat. So, Aaron, what do you got coming on, man? What
We
do you
got
coming
my
up here?
man Robert Roy hanging out backstage. Robert Roy, you know, great trader when it comes to spreads, options trades. So, you know, excited. It's been a few months since I've caught up with Rob, so excited about that. But yeah, I mean, thanks guys for carrying it over into Benzinga Live. We'll be hanging out for the next hour or so, and then got an all access coming up on the tail end around noon. A little bit of a later all access than we typically have, so excited about that as well.
Okay, awesome. Have a great time. Do love Rob Roy. That is an excellent drink, by the way. So the Scotch Manhattan out there called a Rob Roy. Awesome. Hopefully he does a great job here today. Take care, everybody. We will see
Bye,
you
folks.
tomorrow.
And happy all-time highs.
Happy all-time highs.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if you haven't seen, I mean, I'm sure the 13 and Ryan were talking about the overall market, but hitting new all-time highs as Powell continues his testimony to Congress. I mean, I'm sorry, and I know it's going to sound like a broken record and be annoying because we talked about it so much on pre-market prep this morning too, but I mean, this NVIDIA move is just absolutely insane. I was actually eyeing some $1,000 calls that expire tomorrow, just in case, because I have a feeling right now with how NVIDIA is trading, again, up more than 3.5% today, hitting, looks like we're going to, you know, we're fighting for 920 right now. I have a feeling, oh, someone said my lip sync is a little funky. Okay, we'll work on that. I have a feeling that there's going to be some FOMO buying coming in here. People that haven't been in the market, people that haven't been long NVIDIA because they're scared that it's, you know, just a little bit too much, too fast. So they're hanging out, and now they see it going up 2, 3, 4% every single day. And today might be the day that people start piling in saying, hey, like, I don't care if I lose some money on this. I'm not going to miss out on the upside, which is kind of how I'm feeling. Like, I don't care if I buy NVIDIA today and it goes down, you know, 10% or whatever, especially too if I'm holding long term. But what I don't want to do is continue to sit on the sideline and miss out on some games. And I am in it. It's just not as much as I would like to be. And I've been talking about NVIDIA with one of my, you know, friends that's in investing for a while. I was texting him today. He put $1,500 into NVIDIA in 2017. $1,500. We were in college still. Guess what it is now? Guess what it's worth now? $1,500 in 2017. He bought NVIDIA. I'll wait for those guesses to come in the chat. Adobe looking good. All right, well, we can take a look at Adobe. Maybe I think Rob actually trades Adobe sometimes. All right, waiting for some guesses. So we got a slight delay here. 200K. It's a little bit less than that. 1,500 to about 105. So either way, I mean, incredible investment on his part. He's saying that he's not even thinking about selling. 38,000 JD said no. It was more than that. 105,000. So shout out him. All right, I do see my man Rob Roy hanging out backstage. When Rob gives us a thumbs up or sign that he's ready to go, we'll go ahead and bring him. Oh, he's ready. Let's do it. All right. Like I said, it's been a few months since we've caught up with Rob. So excited to bring him on. Let's give him our very special Zinger Nation welcome. All right, Rob Roy, how you doing today?
Hey, Aaron, it has been a bit. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good. I mean, this is a crazy market. I mean, we've had a lot of volatility this week. You know, if you go back to Tuesday, we were getting crushed all day, then had a rally toward the end of the day. Monday was the exact opposite, where we were green all day and then had a sell-off toward the end of the day. How are you playing? How are you trading this volatility?
Yeah, so the pullbacks are exactly what we're looking for. You know, to try to trade the continuous run up. I heard your conversation on NVIDIA, and I'm with you. You know, you're watching this thing go up and up and up every day. But those big runs up, you got to be careful of the pullbacks down. You can look at CrowdStrike, right? Just did the same thing. They had a big move up on their earnings and then pulled back drastically from where they were over the next 2 or 3 days. So that's okay. We're looking for those pullbacks, and that's what we've looked for on the S&P, the pullbacks. And you know, some of the calls we've made on it, we were spot on with where the bounce was coming and where the expectation of the move was. which I can show you on an S&P chart. But overall, that's what we're focused on. As we make the move up, watch for the pullback, take the next entry in.
There you go. And you can share your screen if you want, Robin. We can talk about some of these setups. I know you have your, list of bigger tech names that you're typically trading. Would love to look at what you're watching and what type of trades you're looking at right now.
Absolutely. And we just put together I'm going to move this because it's going to mess us up there. There we go. You should see. Yeah. Okay. So we just put together the list of last year's numbers on how we did, what stocks worked best for us. And all of them are tech. You guys can see the list on my far left here. Not all tech, but a good portion of them, between Adobe, you mentioned before, Amazon, Booking, and so forth, all tech related. You've got Home Depots in there and some of those, but United Healthcare. But for the most part, we do trade a lot of the tech components out there. When you look, you mentioned NVIDIA here. I'll just share this. Let's see. These were 2023 stocks. Sorry, 6 monitors. It pulled it onto a whole screen here. Let's open that up. So these are the 20 stocks from this last year, from only for 2023. Nothing that's pulled into 2024. You can see the symbol. The number of trades we took on Netflix were 38. We had 34 winners. The percentage of the winners, we had 3 losing trades. The percentage of losers, 1 break even, percentage of break evens. And this is the percentage of the overall P&L for the year. So Netflix was number 1. NVIDIA was number 2. Big disparity between the two of them, by the way. My top 3 stocks for all of 2024 personally have been Netflix, NVIDIA, and Tesla. I've said it on your show many times, as I have to my own students. And Netflix, NVIDIA, number 1 and 2. Tesla was number 5. So Adobe was the big outlier for me. I was surprised to see that kind of move on Adobe for us, that it equated to 10% of our returns for the year on Adobe. Not the norm for them, for us.
Got it. And I mean, right now with where NVIDIA is trading at, I mean, are you starting to look at something, maybe like put debit spreads or anything like that to the short side? Or are you just trying to, I guess, continue to play the trend?
So the bias is still the focusing factor for me. And bias is basically a representation of price in relation to the moving averages in relation to the Fibonacci level. So all of our moving averages are in the right order. What I mean by that is we've got our shortest time frame on top. That's the 8, the pink line. The green is in the middle. That's our 21. And the brown's on the bottom, 55. So they're in the right order for a bullish move. They're also spreading apart. You'll see a little bit more noticeable right now on the 8 and 21 because of the quick move we've had in the last week. But you can also see it on the 21 down to 55. So we're in a bullish bias, but we're nowhere near our moving averages. We're way above it. So that's where okay, we had this gap up, and then the next day we gapped up and had this pullback. How many people had their head handed to them buying on the open and watched it crush down, got stopped out, and just to see it recover again? We got the gap up yesterday and then the gap today. And you're right, we just continue to get these, they're continuation gaps. And you got to compare them all with volume, and volume's been good. But when I look at it, I'm not looking at anything bearish right now. I'm looking for the right location to enter. So if we can get a pullback to this 885.62, which is where we closed yesterday, right, then I'd be more than happy to see and look if we can get a bounce off of there as a potential entry. And we have at least $15 before we hit another line. So there's a lot of opportunity there. The goal for me is not, let's find a stock that we can hit a home run on. I'd rather get on base a lot. The home run hitters in baseball are the ones with the 230 averages, right? 250 average, whatever. Whereas the guy that just chops singles all day long is the 330 batter, right? The Hall of Fame type guy. I'd rather.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we should, Rob, back up. And I guess for some people who aren't familiar with you or your trading style, talk about, what you do with spreads and why you do it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So we do a lot of directional trades. We do a lot of credit spreads, covered calls. It really depends what you're trying to accomplish in your portfolio and what the market looks like. So you want me to kind of go over what we're looking at on the chart, Aaron, and talk about what we do?
Yeah, would love that.
All right. So why don't we look at a stock that's a little bit better of a setup right now than NVIDIA, which would be Amazon. Okay. Popular enough name. Everybody knows who they are. So for me, I'm a big fan of a technical indicator called Fibonacci, right? If you've seen me before, there's no mistaking that that's the indicator that I like to use. I'm just opening up my drawing tools here so I can actually get some lines drawn on the screen. And the Fibonacci starts down here at this V bottom. We made this move down and we catapulted to the upside. We finally ran out of steam and rolled over at this high right in here. And that's the level that I'm focused off of. Just give that a second to get out of the way. And that's the level that I'm focused off of as our top. So V bottom, V top, right? So I drew this blue line and I drew this blue line, and everything in between and everything above were drawn automatically, okay? So we continued to bounce, and once we broke out over here, retested and bounced, that's kind of what I'm talking about, such as before, Aaron, when we looked at NVIDIA, the S&P. We bounced off a key level. We had a moving average and a fib line together called the confluence. We look for the bounce off that level, and that's the possible opportunity. We took the trade there, right? It ran up to resistance. We're out of the trade. We pull back. We bounce. So I think we actually took an Amazon trade on this day. No, we took the Amazon trade on this day. We had our order in place, and we got into the trade right as it opened up. So we got a big gap up, not where I wanted to enter, but the trade gets entered the night before, the way that we set them up. So there was nothing we could do. It had to go through. Okay. So that trade filled up over there. We did okay on it. Not great, but it definitely was a little heart palpitations going on throughout this one. But each of these lines are your support and resistance lines. I never have to worry about look left, draw lines. Am I getting the wicks versus the bodies? Everything aligns itself perfectly here, and it is harmonic. This is in tune with nature. If you've not looked at Fibonacci, just as general, look up Fibonacci and what it is and how powerful it is. It is in your DNA. Your DNA is a perfect Fibonacci match of a 0.618 to a 1.618 relationship between the major and minor DNA in your body. So as we move now towards the current pattern, what happened? Yesterday on the close, we closed right at a Fibonacci level. We had a confluence of our 8 moving average in there. My order would be put in that if we got up to 175, we're going to want to take an entry on Amazon. And, oh, sorry, I had the wrong candle there. My bad. I went one day too far. So we were right here. I'd be looking for the entry at 175 if we were able to push back up and get above our moving average. Today, we opened up. Let me just see where we were on opening price there. At 174.83, we pulled back and we bounced. We pushed up into the 175. There's the entry. We've been at a high today of 176.67. We've got a resistance up here at 178.5, right? So right about 177.5 is where we're going to put our target in on Amazon. If we're not out by the end of the day, we'll pull the trigger automatically. And if it stops us out about 173 or so is where we'll get taken out of the trade if it breaks to the downside. So for my style, for my system, Aaron, whether you're looking at spreads, buying calls and puts, either way, my system requires that we get the right setup at the right time. We don't take breakouts. Doesn't mean they don't work. We don't take them, right? And the reason I don't is I get sucked in on things like this. Oh, we broke out. Let's take the entry. And the next day we crash down. We broke out. Let's take the entry. 3 days later, we break down. Oh, but that one worked. Yeah, but I got my head handed to me on these two. So I don't do well with breakouts. Doesn't mean they don't work. They just don't work well for me. I have a friend that's an amazing breakout trader. He's tried to teach me. It's not an education thing. It's an emotional thing. It is the way that I look at it and what I anticipate is going to happen. I start worrying about the pullback, even though there's no sign of it happening yet. So for me, the retest and the bounce is the best entries.
Well, that's good to know, what you're good at and what you're not good at. So it's, you have that strategy that works for your friend that you're saying, hey, this doesn't really work for me. Rob, why do you stick with the Fibonacci indicators versus other types of indicators? I mean, a lot of people are using moving averages and RSI, stuff like that. Why Fibonacci's for you?
So, and I do use moving averages, but when you look at primary indicators, Fibonacci is my primary, right? That is the number one indicator that I focus on, are Fibonacci. And the biggest reason for it is with testing tens of thousands of days of technical indicator of trading using various technical indicators, Fibonacci gives me the most accurate levels to work off of, where if you start drawing support and resistance, it can become more subjective. Here, there is really not subjective other than you had that V bottom, very clear when you look, right? It was very clear where things changed on this Amazon chart. It was very clear at the top where things changed. So I know where to draw from. And once I do that, then life becomes very easy as far as drawing it goes, or managing it rather. If we go to, I don't know who this is, but I don't think I'm going to have a fib on there, right? So that's a $34 stock. So we have a really nice move here. We've got a nice V top here. We had this move down and this bounce up. We came down here and this bounce up, and then we get this pullback. We're looking for closest to the right side of the chart. So we want the largest directional move closest to the right. So if I come off of this level and focus on that opening price up to that high, that's a low price rather, up to that high, right in there, all of my lines were drawn automatically, right? You saw I just drew the blue lines, and I'll do it again to make it easier so you can see it again and watch it. But see, I'm looking for this bottom. Nice thing is I don't have to get exactly there. It's going to snap to the bottom. My mouse is at 36.82 right now, but if I move the mouse up, it's 38.04. The blue line is 36.90. When I get to this high, all I'm doing is blue. Everything else, red and the one purple line, were drawn automatically. So by setting all of this up, Aaron, if you are a statistics type person, a 2 standard deviation move is like 95.5% of all data points. Well, when you have a move on Fibonacci's and you've moved 2 lines, you've moved about 95% of the expected move. Do we get the blowouts in there, like the NVIDIAs of the world that just don't want to stop? And the answer is yes. You know, we made this move up, right? This gap, right? They had the pullback, and then we moved up 1, 2 lines, and we pulled back. We gapped up. We've moved up 1 line so far. There's more lines up above, so we're looking for potentially a 2-line move. So Fibonacci just gives me a more concise way of measuring where we're going to without some of the anticipations or expectations that emotion may bring into it. Fibonacci gives me a clear and concise path to follow as far as what my entry management and exit rules are.
Got it. And then how, I mean, like, can we walk through, I guess, a couple other current setups that you have right now where you're using this Fibonacci, and I guess just talk about how you're setting up the spreads?
Sure. You want to talk spreads or directional trades? Either one works for me.
You pick, actually.
Okay. Directional is the easier one to focus on. We can always talk spreads anytime you want. You know that. I love them.
Okay. Let's focus on directional then for now, and we'll do spreads next time.
Okay. So if we, let's not use NVIDIA. Let's use a stock that has not just gone through the roof and gives us a more manageable Fibonacci to work off of. Okay. So let's see. We've got Adobe here. All right. So on Adobe, and I'll grab again a drawing tool just to make it easier to see. You know what? Let's do this. Let me get rid of the moving averages for right now as we talk about drawing the fibs, and then I'll bring them back in that we can use them to measure what's happening. So we've had a bunch of movement on this stock. We got a bounce. This gave us a clear place to consider an entry, but not until we got the move up and failed. And ideally, doesn't always work this way. Ideally, I want a 2-line, I want to move back to the 236 level as where it pulled back to tell me we've pulled back enough. In other words, if we moved up and we pulled back the next day to here and we start to bounce, that may not be the right place just yet, as you can see in here, right? We moved up, we had a quick little pull, we bounced again, right? You're going to see this all throughout charting, right? Technical analysis. So on Adobe, we drew that setup. So it took weeks for that to actually give us a setup, probably somewhere around here before the earliest we could have even drawn the fib. Okay. Now, once we've got that, every line is a support or a resistance level. It's very clear for me of what we're looking at. If I was thinking of taking a bearish trade here, which I would not be, I want to take bullish entries. But if I were thinking of a bearish trade, I'd be looking at this 236 as a stopping point. It hesitated, it gapped down, closed above, it gapped down. I'm sorry, gapped up and it closed below. Opened right at it again, bounced, retested, bounced. You can see there's a lot of value in that line right there. Write these numbers down if you're not familiar with them. 236 is a hesitation level. Stocks tend to hesitate there. Doesn't mean it's going up. Doesn't mean it's going down. They just tend to slow down at that point, right? And then we came back here, right? We closed here. We opened up, right? And we got our bounce. So there's the bounce, right? You take the entry. If you're taking a day trade, it's awesome. If you're going for a swing trade, we made a 1-2 line move, a little bit more, and that's normal, 2 plus a little, and we failed. So we made a 2 standard deviation move into failure. We pulled back, we got our bounce, we went 1-2 standard deviations, and we failed. We bounced, we got 1-2 standard deviations, and failed. You seen a pattern here? This is over and over and over again. Now, will it happen like that every time? No, not every time, right? It did it here. It went back and did it here. And now we got one line here. Back and forth, it was all one. Then we gapped down. Quick little pull, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4 lines. Yes, news will do that. Technical analysis means nothing when news comes out. You could have drawn all the best indicator layouts of RSI and stochastics, MACD, Wilders, whatever you're using, okay? Fibonacci, support and resistance zones, however you trade, you could have done the best work of drawing all that out. And then an announcement comes out that the company's in trouble for whatever the reason is, whether it's bad sales, bad earnings, CEO leaving, whatever it is, news takes over everything, right? So the technical analysis doesn't matter as far as we're only moving 2 lines, but we did get the move and we stopped right at another fib line.
Got it. I mean, I haven't actually used a lot of Fibonacci's in my trading, Rob. What's like the best way, I guess, to start? Do most brokerages or trading platforms just have these, fib levels that you can set on your charts?
They do. They're pretty standard on most major platforms. I use TradeStation. I use TOS. Both of them have Fibonacci built inside of them. It's fairly common in most platforms that they'll have the availability for it. You may be limited to the number of levels you can put in on some of them. I know TradeStation has a limit of what can go in there. I think it's about 15 or so. There are times I might have more than that on my charts. You can always manage around it with other lines, but I like the ability to draw them internally where I don't have to manage it and draw them. But it's fairly simple to work with. And to me, the easiest way to start, remember these things when you look for it. What you're looking for is the largest directional move closest to the right side of the chart. You need to find a swing low and a swing high. What is a swing low candle? Well, a swing low, all right. A swing low is when we had a low day right here, right? That gave me a low. Let me do a different color. This day we had a low. The next day we had a lower low, and the day after we had a higher low. That makes this our swing low candle. We had a high on this candle. We had a higher high, and now we have a lower high. That makes this a swing high candle. Doesn't matter how it opened or closed. It's the high that we're looking at, not the bodies. We're looking at the wicks, both on the swing low and on the swing high. You would identify the largest one of those moves directionally. What we're not looking for, ideally, is this, right? That makes it hard. You may have to do that at some point, but they're not ideal candidates. I'd rather find a stock like Adobe or whoever the company is, but I'd rather find a stock that has a clear path there, a clear move, and draw that. The best way to do that is take what I just gave you, grab the S&P 500, start with the letter A, and draw it on 10 stocks today. Tomorrow, do 10 more, and do 10 more the day after that. and just watch how they go. And if there's a list that you already like, practice it on that list. If you're unsure where to start, I tell my students to start with the S&P 500, draw it there. Then I have them go draw the Dow, just because the Dow is a major group of stocks on there, and then go into the NASDAQ. You've drawn now on about approximately a little bit less than 600 stocks, because there are overlaps between the indexes. But you've got close to 550, 600 stocks that you would have drawn them on over the next month or two. You're going to have a really good understanding of how they work when you start to see laying those lines on there, and you go back and review what's happened over the previous days to see, did you draw this well or not?
Where can our audience members go, Rob, to learn more from you about how to trade with Fibonacci's, how to set up spreads, etc.?
So if you go over to tradinglikeaboss.com, guys, we have a free, everything on that website is free. It's one of our sites. It's where we put all of our free materials are up there for all of our students. There is a Trade with Rob section on there. I don't know if I opened it yet this morning. I might have. Yeah, I did. I saw it up because we were in a meeting talking about this or something else earlier. There's a Trade with Rob on there. 2 or 3 times a week, I send out a video with 3 stocks on it, all Fibonacci pattern, with exactly what we're looking for, the entries, the targets, the exits, all of that set up in there. So go check that out. It's a great little training of how, because we teach you the how in there on this type of trade, but then you get live setups each and every week after the market closes.
Beautiful. Well, Rob, thanks for hopping on with us today. Always a pleasure to catch up, man. It's been too long. We'll make sure to get you on, quicker this time, so we're not having so much gap in between.
There you go.
But man, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy these all-time highs, and we'll chat soon. Okay.
You too. Take care, Aaron. Take care, everybody. Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, guys, that link is in the chat, tradinglikeaboss.com. Again, not a lot of places you can go get all this information and educational material for free. So definitely go check that out. All right. I see my man Zunaid hanging out backstage, and he's got a chart too. Let's leave Zunaid backstage, but pull up his chart, see what he's looking at. Tesla. All right. So I'm going to guess what Zunaid was going to say here. So, all right, as you can see here, I have my yellow line below the green line, and the yellow line's coming up and trying to touch the green line, which means that now's the time to buy. Now's the time to sell. All right, I'm going to sell. Buy. I don't know. Let's see what Zunaid was going to do.
Wait, now I need you to recap this. Hold on. Recap this one.
Well, oh, okay. Hold on. I got to take you off then. All right. What are we looking at now? Light crude oil futures. All right. We've got a green line that's going probably, it's a nice angle there. Maybe like a 45-degree angle. You can see where we're starting at down here at 71. That was our support level. And now the trend line is going up, 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 up. But there's a double top there up there right around $80. So 80 is acting as almost a psychological resistance level here, where you can see that double top. So I'm watching to see if we can get back up to that level and break through and get out of this channel that we're trading in right now. You can see the higher volume today below on the volume bars down there. And I mean, this thing, I've been trading this thing in and out, day in and day out. I'm short, I'm long, I'm short, and then I'm long again. So light crude oil futures is really my bread and butter.
I mean, why am I even on? I feel like you could do this for another 28 minutes.
How'd I do?
I thought that was phenomenal. I mean, I saw you try to go for a deeper voice. I would have loved for you to try to do an Indian accent so you could get fired. But besides that, dude, that was awesome. I liked it. Well done. Well done.
I'm not doing any types of accents, impersonations, anything on the stream anymore after what happened last time.
Wait, what'd you do last time?
I was kidding. I don't know.
Oh.
I did do an Italian accent once on the stream as
That's not as offensive
as Investor Stallone. I'll have to bring back Investor Stallone sometime. Only the
All right.
real one. Only the real ones in the chat will remember Investor.
I'll tell you
Stallone.
what. I know you've got all access coming up at 12, so why don't you go take a break? You're welcome to hang out with me, but I like to give.
All
you
right, I'll take a break for a second. I come back in.
Come back whenever you want, pal. All right. So yeah, AB was right. I am looking at a couple of things. I'm looking at crude oil here. Again, as y'all know, I have a funded account with Apex. So I'm looking for this trend line break. I've got my alerts set. As soon as we go ahead and break this trend line, I am looking to go short. The one thing that is unfortunate is that with Apex, I can't swing trade, right? Which is something I'd love to do with this type of position, but I might actually go ahead and swing a contract or two on my trade. What is it? Wait, what am I using on this one? Thinkorswim, to see if I can go ahead and utilize it there. But AB, yeah, I mean, AB's the, he's a, yeah, I'm not even going to go there. But anyway, so that's what I'm looking at in terms of crude oil. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla, which is what I had up earlier. So you can see this is a trend line that I'm looking at on the 30 minutes. If we can go ahead and pop back above, I will look to go ahead and get into this one and see if I can ride it to the $84 on Tesla. But I mean, this thing has been just on lower lows for so long. Like we can go, just look at that, just continuously, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower highs. You had a triple top there, lower high, lower high, lower high, and lower high. So clearly we are continuously in a downtrend. So that's what's going on there. And let's see what else we got. Let me know some tickers y'all want to take a look at, man. Let's talk some shop. We can talk some futures. We can talk some stocks. So we can talk about the what was it? The women's team, the United States women's national team. They won I don't know if you guys saw the game or not, but it was 2-2, went into PKs, and we won 3-1 at penalty kicks. And the weather and the field was just insane. Like, I don't know how the women played there, but they did. And US will now face Brazil in the finals on Sunday. So that'll be fun to go ahead and watch. But cool. That's what I'm watching here. Let's see what else we got. Meta, man, I wanted to buy this one at 500, but as you can see, it only got to like 501.50. There you go, 501.50. Never really came back down to 500. So I did miss the boat on that one. Let's see what we got on NVIDIA. I do want to check out SMCI here in a minute. By the way, if you're watching us on Twitter, if you're watching us on X, go ahead and come on down, hit the follow button, come on down to YouTube, or type in what tickers you want me to take a look at for you, and I'm happy to do so. Otherwise, I will just think that you are a bot, B-O-T. All right. NVIDIA, let me see if there's anything here that I'd like to go ahead and trade on. Nope, not really. Maybe if it comes back to test the 900s, I'd be interested, or maybe this 875s, but not anything really particularly that I'm interested on this one. So I'm going to keep on moving on. Let's see what we got on AMD. AMD, got my alerts set. So consolidating just for a couple of days, right? I mean, you obviously popped up, came back, resistance, came back above, holding a support. So what I'm looking at is if I can go ahead and get a break of 215 to the upside, I'll go ahead and go long. If I can get a break of 207.50 to the downside, depending on how it does react in terms of volume, in terms of price action, the level 2, all that fancy stuff that makes you think I'm a very, very profitable trader, I will go ahead and grab some puts or go short. Let's take a look at LASE. What am I looking here? Do you think LA is about to turn up? Well, to be honest, I do not know. I can just kind of see a trend line for the naked eye. Oops. A lot of clicking. A lot of click, clack, clack, clack. That's all I've got for you for the past few days is that beautiful little trend line. You've obviously got a little bit of resistance area right there. Right, so 215 is where I've got resistance, and that's what I'd keep an eye on. If you pop above that, I think you can knock on the doors of about 235, 240s. But if you go ahead and break $2, be careful of that, and that trend line is what I'd have to go ahead and keep in mind. Let's go ahead and take a look at FDX. We might have a special guest on when we have FedEx earnings. Nothing has been confirmed yet, so I don't want to give anything away. Man, I'd be interested in a little bit of FTX. If we can get over this VWAP again, oh, heck yeah. If we can get over this VWAP and get above 250 on a 15-minute candle close, I'm looking to get in. Teresa, I see you here with JD. I'll get to in just a second. Yeah, so FedEx, got my alert set. If it goes up, pops above 250, I think we could knock on the door of 251s, but that would be a day trade for me. This is not something I'm looking to swing. They do report earnings, by the way, on March 21st. So if, oh, nope, that's not it. There we go. FDX back at it again. If you do go ahead and get into this one, if you feel like you want to swing some contracts, just note that March 21st is going to be their earnings report. So if you want to play that run up, if you feel like you've got some opportunity there, keep that in mind. But obviously, please go ahead and do what you think is best because you don't want to gamble on earnings itself. Let's go ahead and talk about JD. I remember this stock was in the 90s once upon a time. No, let me just quickly check. Oh yeah, sure was. It was in the 108s and then it came back down. Let's go ahead and take a look at, man, with the Chinese companies, you can just see how many like gap ups, gap downs, and just, I mean, look at this chart. Like, what is even happening here? It's a bit sporadic for me. However, I'd be interested in this one if we can break 25. So we can break 25, 27 would be my target. I would get out at 24-ish. So you're risking about $1 to gain $2. That's what I'd be keeping an eye on. In terms of intraday day trade opportunities, I don't really see anything unless we go ahead and break 25. Then I'd look to swing it. That's what I've got on JD. Let's see what we got. APVO. All right, I don't know anything about this stock. I'm not gonna lie to you, but obviously it just had a massive knife and then continuation to the downside all the way from, what is this, about 1096, 1080s, all the way down to about the 750s now. Big spread, right? The spread here is about 24 cents. If you're trading this one, you want to go ahead and be very, very mindful of this ticker here. The spreads, you could, like, look at this. It's a 60-cent spread right now. So you want to use limit orders. You want to make sure that you're on the bid or the ask, depending on if you're trying to buy or sell. So see what's that. Yeah, you're absolutely welcome, Teresa. Come on down to YouTube anytime you want. We trade all the time, every day. And we'd be happy to have you. Let's see what else we've got going on. Thinking about AMD for a while. I think I just went over AMD. No, there was a 2 alerts there. Yep, sure was. 215 to the upside, 207 to the downside. That's what I've got on AMD. It's still trying to figure out which way it wants to go. NVIDIA obviously making higher highs. Is this all-time highs on NVIDIA? You bet it is. So it's 922.75. That's the highest it's been. Keep an eye on NVIDIA and keep an eye on 1,000, because if we knock on the door of 1,000, I will be looking to go short. No question about it. Sorry, I just got a Slack, so I got distracted. All right, cool. Let's go ahead and check out what's happening with Apple. Okay, did anyone trade Apple when we broke 180? I tweeted this out. All right, I don't really tweet a lot of stock picks. Maybe I need to. Maybe I need to go back to my Twitter account for trading only and tweet some stuff. Maybe I should do a newsletter. There's a lot of things we can do here. But anyway, 180 is what I was taking a look at, because look at how many times you had support here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then it finally breaks, retests, and then boom, just straight up to the downside we go. This was a beautiful trade. It was kind of something you had to be very patient for, but once it finally broke, you had multiple opportunities. You had an opportunity here, you had an opportunity there, and then you just didn't even get an opportunity on Monday. It just started to continue its downward movement, and I believe it was 170 was resistance. Let me go ahead and move this. Was it 170? Let me see. 170. I was wrong. It wasn't exactly 170. It was more so 169.62 and 170, I guess. Sure, why not? But you can see it just couldn't get above there, and it just continued its movement to the downside. But if it can get up above 170, I think 172 could be on the horizon for them. Let's see what else we got. NVO. I cannot type today. Do I have any other calls today? Let me see what I got on my schedule. Nah, AB and I are recording our... Did we ever post the... I wonder if we ever posted our first show between AB and I. I wonder if we did. Let me check. Oh, sad we didn't. Maybe I should find a way. I don't know. Would love to show you all that, but all right. Anyway, let's get back to charts. Coinbase. I got to see how my Dogecoin's doing today. Are we up? Am I rich? Am I about to retire? Dang it, it's lower. I'm up 50%, Chad. I think I got in around 9 cents, 10 cents, and I'm up about 50%. Yeah, I gotta hit up Feehan and see if we ever posted that one. Did we ever post the first episode of Market Breakdown? All right, I just asked producer Feehan to see if we did ever do that. Let's go ahead and take a look at SMCI. I remember when everyone was like, oh my God, SMCI is going straight back down when it broke the $1,000 level, like right here. Everyone was like, this is it. This is the end. And now it's just made newer highs. So, you know, it goes to show that you should always hold on to your losses. I'm kidding. Don't do that, please. You always want to live to fight another day. But there's just a lot of, like, just look at how many gaps this thing now has to fill, right? We can go all the way back down to 926 if we needed to. Then after that, you've got a gap to fill here at about the 774. So, like, will it eventually come down? Then I don't know, but I'm definitely not shorting this until we break 1,000. We break 1,000, we break 977. I'm holding until 921, baby. I was talking to somebody else, and they're like, yeah, I traded like 100 shares of SMCI the other day. And I'm like, I traded 10 shares is what I did. I traded 10 shares. Let's see what else. You know, for a second, Neil, I thought you said, is ARM forming a peanut? And I was like, what? What does that mean? What is a peanut? I've never heard of a peanut formation. Let's take a look at this. Did this ever, you know, this is another one of those call grandma, tell her to buy calls. This was not as clean. I'm not going to pretend like it was as clean as I would have liked, because here's where the consolidation was. And I was hoping for a very clean breakout. Yeah, you had some great profitable opportunities here, but it wasn't as clean and consistent as I would have liked. So that's unfortunate. I did not get to play that one because, again, it just wasn't clean. It just wasn't clean. That's the first thing I see from the naked eye on ARM. Dude, Sydney. Have I had butter chicken lately? I think I have. Yeah, I've had butter chicken lately, and I've had a chicken tikka is what I had last time. I've got like a walking desk now, and if you guys can see, wait, can I show? Yeah, nothing on there is crazy. So I've got like a walking desk now. So all my coworkers now, whenever I'm on calls, I pretend to be like this elitist that wakes up at 6 a.m. and walks on my treadmill. And it's cool. I've lost like a pound already. It's nice. You know, I'm on meetings all the time, so I get to burn like 500 calories, 300 calories a day. It's really cool. This Boeing level on 200 has just been so interesting. If you're looking to go short Boeing, I think you have a chance to do so here with 203 being the resistant area. If it does go ahead and get to 304s, you should go ahead and get out of the trade itself. I'm just going to go ahead and go to 30. There you go. As you can see, you had support, resistance. And then I don't know if this goes to the downside or upside. A part of me actually wants to go ahead and take some put options here and see if we can go ahead and make a move to the downside. I appreciate the heart. Let's highlight the heart. Thank you for the heart. Appreciate you. NYCB. What is happening in NYCB? New York Community Bancorp. Why is this? Can someone give me the TLDR and why people are talking about this? I had a buddy of mine text me about this as well, but I was, again, on calls. Actually, I know I was driving home this morning and I couldn't respond. But what's going on? What's NYCB? Why do people care about this? Obviously, I see this huge dump, and then we're right back to making higher highs compared to yesterday. So, like, what happened here? Do I need to go to Twitter? Or y'all going to tell me? Ah, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. Let's see. I'm watching just the 77th Secretary of the Treasury. Okay. All right. I was just catching up on the news there. Remember when AB said he'd be back in a minute and he lied to us? It's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see if we can take any trades on the future side. Maybe if we go ahead and get to here, but I'm not really interested in it unless we get there otherwise. Producer Feehan said no. We will not release the first episode. We will release the one that we're recording today, though. He's very excited for this. By the way, the show that AB and I are doing, got to give props to Feehan. He's the one who kind of came up with the idea, the topics, the editing, the video side of it. So, like, this is his baby. So whenever you guys see the show, let's see if we can preview it tomorrow. Like, I know we're posting it tomorrow, but I wonder if we can show it tomorrow. Let's see what the schedule looks like for us. Bum, 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 bum. Nick declined my weekly sync. How dare he? Well, I hope he's okay. You know what? Yeah, I think tomorrow after All Access, we can. So I'll tell you what, chat, we'll talk to Feehan, we'll talk to AT, and tomorrow we'll have live trading. Then we have All Access for about 10 minutes or so. And then maybe we can show you guys the new show that we've got going on. See how you enjoy that. All right. Where am I going? There we go. Okay. Is that all-time highs on there? That is all-time highs there. Okay, so all-time highs are about 18,373. Got it. Which we couldn't get to the next day either. We couldn't break it, so we started going down, and that's about, what is that, 1,000? No, it's not 1,000. No, it's about 600. 600, let's see. 600, let's call it 5. Interesting. Okay. Check catch PIK. Was PIK one of the Zach Morris's picks back in the day? I feel like it was. Let me see. Let's go back and see if there's a big spikes that we see. Yep. But now again, it doesn't mean he did them, right? There are many stocks that have big spikes like this that have no influence from FinTwit world. Yeah, this is definitely not a stock that I care to play. I don't know what the news on it is. Obviously, you see this huge candle, but nothing in pre-market. So it's either that some news came out or this is just a room that's just pumping this, and I'm not about to get involved in this puppy at all. No, thank you. Got about 8 minutes before AB comes back and takes the mic away from me. Dude, my schedule is pretty light today. If any of you guys are going to be, if you're going to, you guys live in Toronto, I've got a esports show with the Raptors Uprising GC. That's the esports team of Toronto Raptors. So that'll be on their Twitch channel. If you guys want to come say hello at 5. Let's see what else we've got here. Is that a bunny or a peace sign? That's a peace sign. Okay, I couldn't tell if that was a bunny or not. That's also all-time highs on the SPY that we just made today. So we just continue to make all-time highs. What is that? 514.87? 514.87. That is all-time highs. Where is TO? Like Terrell Owens? He's retired. And the stock TO is just awful. Yeah, that's fine. We can let that one go. Ooh, see, okay, with VWAP right here, I would love for the Qs or the NQ to just come on down here. Newly introduced bill seeks to clarify fully implanted active middle ear hearing aids. What is middle ear? I'm not aware of middle ear. Oh, where in Toronto? Sorry. So I'm actually not in Toronto, but the team is in Toronto, and I'm doing the show remote. Is how it's going. All right, AT, where's AB? Don't need you to flag him. Flag him. Where my boy AT at? Where my boy AB at? By the way, I'm curious. I'm curious about something, chat. Type 1 in the chat if you would be interested in a trading competition for stocks and options. It would be kind of like it'd be paper money, right? It'd be through a broker. It'd be paper money, but you would have prizes. It would be a 30-day competition, if you will, and there would be prizes attached to it. You could trade stocks, you could trade options. Spam 1 in the chat if that's something you would like. Just trying to gauge an interest. Because like we told you all at the beginning of February, we're trying new things. We're working with different partners, looking to bring you guys shows, right? Like typically live trading would only go to like, 11. Now we got Benzinga Live, obviously is how we brand it, but we're going till 12. So only David wants to do a trading competition. There we go. Quantum wants in on it. Yeah, we're working with a broker to help bring that all to you. We just have to wait to see if the tech works properly, and then obviously agreements are signed and all that good stuff. But yeah, bring back Joel's pre-market show. Do you mean like at 3:30? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I mean, but how long has NVIDIA's RSI been over ridiculous times? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not even looking at the RSI at this point. Yeah, every time in the afternoon. Yeah, we'd love to have that. I'm not sure if he has the availability or what his priorities are on that side of things, but I think it'd be cool. I mean, he's obviously got great insight. It's always good to tune into pre-market prep. So yeah, we'd love to have him. AB's in the back and he's not putting his headphones on. Should I just put him on camera and kind of, mess with him? All right, cool. Just make sure he doesn't do anything crazy, AT. You're on camera. He has no idea he's on camera. Oh, someone just walked past him. Don't pick your nose.
You got people walking across the screen and stuff. Like,
I told AT to make sure that you don't do anything crazy if I put you on air. So I had your back a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Just a little bit.
All right, give me one more second, and then I'll
no,
hop
you're
back
good.
on.
You're good.
Oh
you're
my
good,
God,
you're
what
good,
was
you're
that
good.
noise? I hate your beeps.
All right, bye. That beep was FDX. FDX, man. Like I said, if this thing, I might swing some contracts, chat. Let's go ahead and pull up my broker. Oh, come on. Where's my broker? My first real problems is that I have 3 brokers and I never know which one to like trade with because they all do different things for me. I know that sounds very douchey, but it is what it is. Before I hop off here and let AB take back the show, I will tell you exactly what I'm trading, so just hang tight. Bum 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 bum. My Thinkorswim says installing updates, so that sucks. There we go. You know what, man? Here's what we're gonna do. Trade station. We're going to swing some contracts, but I'm also going to go ahead and place a trade right here, right now, live on live trading. Wait, AT, I just realized, where's our guest? All right, cool. Got a trade on. I'm in FDX here at 250.19. Look at that. Made it happen. Again, real money trade, right? No paper trade here. Real money in 100 shares. FDX, stop loss, 249.13. Let me know when Aaron's ready.
All right, Mr. Zunaid.
All right, buddy.
What'd you end up getting? What'd you end up trading?
FDX. So they've got earnings on the 21st. We may have a guest on to talk about it from like an analyst perspective, but I'm trading this one here. I'm in at 250, looking to go ahead and get some gains at 251.22. That's the trade, pal.
Beautiful. Love it. All right. Well, it is noon, at least here on the East Coast. Time to transition to our all access for the day. Thank you, Zunaid. Today, we'll be talking to Paul Hickey, the president and CEO of ReShape Lifesciences. Ticker is up there on the screen, RSLS. I see Mr. Hickey hanging out backstage. So without further ado, let's give him our special all access welcome and learn a little bit more about ReShape Lifesciences. All right, Mr. Hickey, thanks for joining us on All Access today. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Pretty solid. Thanks for asking. So before we get into it, why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background and how ReShape Lifesciences was founded and what the mission is behind the company?
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me. First off, background is been blessed to have over 30 years in kind of a medical device, medical therapy field. Grew up out of engineering school into automotive aerospace, then got into med device orthopedics, hip and knee replacement, and a little bit of a stint in peripheral vascular and spine orthopedics. But got into the obesity space probably about 8 years ago with a company called Intermedics. They're also a public company. They had a device that was a pacemaker for hunger. It was implantable, sort of a cell phone sized device that blocked the vagal nerve, which is a superhighway for regulating hunger. Unfortunately, couldn't get the payers to pay for it. So we quickly moved to acquire a couple companies, and one of them was ReShape. And that was ultimately how ReShape became a public company with the Intermedics acquisition a long time ago. So I recently joined ReShaped again in about 2 years ago. And it's, as you know, just a very fascinating space in the world of obesity and weight management.
Got it. And what can you share about the company's current activities and how ReShape's portfolio is targeting obesity and metabolic disease?
Yeah, I mean, you can't pick up a paper or turn on the news or look at your cell phone without hearing about Wegovy, Ozempic, and some of the injectable, the GLP-1 agonists, right? So it's the obesity is one of those diseases that I say it's just so normalized in our society. It's the only disease you can have and knowingly have and walk down the street and not think about going to see a healthcare professional. The upside is that the industry is getting so much attention from big pharma that people are now starting to normalize the treatment of obesity and weight management. ReShape's products, its flagship product is the lap band, which was invented and introduced back in 2021, 2022. I'm sorry, 2001, 2002. So over 20 years ago. And essentially, I describe it to people as a device that takes the top of your stomach and compresses it like a superhighway going 5 lanes down to 1 or 2 lanes. And based on an individual's tolerance, the band can be adjusted with a port that's off to the side, injecting saline into that system. And you can have a 1 or 2 lane, 3 lane highway, depending on, again, the therapy and the weight loss goals of that individual. So that product has been on the market, has great data. It ultimately is something that is the least invasive option to people who are contemplating having a bariatric surgery for weight loss management.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds awesome for people that don't want to go with, like you said, some type of surgery, or maybe they don't want to be injecting themselves with some of these GLP-1s. I mean, earlier this year, ReShape announced that the US FDA granted approval for a PMA supplement for the company's next generation enhanced ReShape lap band 2.0 Flex. Can you tell us about this growth catalyst for the company?
Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment. Our device is a Class 3 device, which is kind of the most stringent level of scrutiny from the FDA, and have a great team internally, both on R&D side and from a regular standpoint, that we're able to get approval from the FDA on a PMA supplement for the 2.0 Flex, as you mentioned. One of the features of the lap band, as I said, is the adjustability. But one of the drawbacks of lap band, the original one, was that if someone is a little bit non-compliant and trying to throw down too much of a bagel or whatever they're consuming, creates kind of a bolus event where that piece of food won't pass through that 1 or 2 lane highway, and that becomes an after hours visit or emergency room where the physician has to withdraw fluid, release the band, go back to 6 lanes in the highway, let the food pass. What the 2.0 Flex does is ultimately acts as that pressure relief valve. So if someone is struggling to swallow something under normal swallowing pressures, the lap band would actually release and let that food bolus go down. Still kind of a punitive system. There's not this isn't an easy access in terms of the Flex. It still provides the therapy needed to sustain weight loss.
Got it. I know the company also shared recent news of its limited launch with first procedures conducted successfully at sites across the country. What do your launch plans entail, and how do you expect the advancements implemented in the Flex are likely to impact patients long term?
Yeah, we're excited. So you're right. It was 2 surgeries done, different parts of the country, Texas and New York. And we have a scientific advisory board, and they're helping us with our launch planning. Part of being a med device company is you owe it to the physicians as well as the patients to study these new introductions carefully. So our limited launch is going to consist of a number of sites that do lap band, have the infrastructure over the years to perform lap band well, and introduce Flex into their patient population. Study, make sure we get some early data. It's just essentially, a few months of each patient, knowing what the adjustment levels would be and how the Flex may compare to the original lap band in real life. So we look at through the first half of this year, going through this limited launch, and then as we get into the second half of the year, really sort of opening up to those that are interested in bringing that into their armamentarium as they treat patients for weight loss.
Got it. And then what about for surgeons? Can you provide insights on how physicians are likely to benefit from the Flex innovations?
Yeah, it's interesting. It ties to that GLP-1 discussion we had, where surgeons are now trying to, they've got a couple weapons. They've got the GLP-1s and getting more people off the sideline and starting to treat their obesity. And but people are scared of surgery. So the lap band and certainly with the Flex offers the safest option for bariatric surgery for these individuals. The upside for the surgeon, it's another tool in the toolbox to help people for a lifelong disease. The other upside is that with that Flex option, they're not going to get those late night calls as much as they would with the original lap band, or adjustments that would need because someone again tried to push too big of a piece of food down that minimized highway.
In terms, I mean, I know you mentioned GLP-1s just now, and so, I mean, in terms of the continuing popularity seen for those drugs, can you tell us a little bit how you see their increased use for weight management affecting sales or market demand for bariatric medical devices?
Yeah, it's going to be well studied, and several articles are already out about the GLP-1s. The fact is that all of these drugs, each one of them have probably 20 patents to their name that extend well into 2040. That prevents the low cost drugs from being introduced to try to drive down prices, which means you're going to have payers say no for some time until they can get the GLP-1s down to a price where they can make it readily available. Full on approval of GLP-1s by payers will absolutely suffocate the healthcare system with the added costs. So what we're going to see, I believe, is GLP-1s getting people to try them. It's likely out of pocket for $1,000 a month or thereabouts. And when they get a taste of weight loss, not to play with words, but when they get the feeling of weight loss and they realize that there's complications, there's accessibility or the affordability or issues, they're going to look for that next step. And that's goes back to the care continuum. And again, the least invasive option for surgery with really good results is a lap band, where we're not changing anatomy, we're not doing anything other than putting that restrictor on the top of the stomach.
Got it. And then how does Reshape plan to differentiate its offerings and communicate lap bands' unique benefits in a market that is increasingly focused on pharmacological solutions like GLP-1 receptor agonists?
Well, I've said publicly also that we're very aggressive right now in the M&A activity. And I think there's a couple of ways to grow as a company. And you can have organic product introductions with the engineering staff internally, or you find the right partnership to have synergies with your mission and your talents internally. So I expect to have added growth, not just from Lapband 2.0, and other things we offer internally, but look to have some merger and acquisition activity, over the coming months and years to really drive growth and differentiation.
Got it. And then looking ahead to next quarter and beyond, are there any upcoming milestones or initiatives you are most excited about? Can you speak to current developments and what excites you the most about the advances on the horizon for Reshape Life Sciences?
Yeah, it's mid long term is kind of a little bit of a repeat, but I think we're going to get some great news out of our initial launch of the 2.0 Flex, and also the M&A activity. Been very active with that, and I'm hopeful to have a deal or deals down the road to talk about. So looking forward to this year and what's beyond.
Boom. Well, Paul, when you guys get those deals done, we got to get you back on, get some more updates about Reshape Life Sciences. Again, ticker is up there on the screen, RSLS. Paul, thanks for taking time out of your busy Thursday to join us today.
Thanks, Aaron.
Of course. All right, guys, that'll be a wrap on All Access today. Again, you're one place on YouTube. You get to learn about publicly traded companies directly from the executives that run those companies. Please smash the like for Paul and Reshape Life Sciences for joining us today. Thank you to Zunaid and the rest of the live trading team. Again, smash that like and subscribe if you haven't already. We'll be back later this afternoon with some more content.